okay. Today is a Wednesday, so we're gonna be cooking. I'm also sad, so we love sadness. Ugh. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm cooking today. I know! I posted like emo shit today. I was like, oh, that's so me. It's so Raven. You remember that? See, I barricaded the dogs so they can't fucking come in here. You little bitches.
Yo.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look at
Bro, it's just 1970s Hamas.
Kinda?
It literally
No,
is.
but
It's
look
a
up.
bunch of
Okay, pause.
No, wait, hang on.
When did Palestine?
It was a bunch of Fedayeen guerrillas.
Okay,
who were
stop.
at war with
Pause. When
Israel. Operated from the refugee
no pause? When did Lebanon and Egypt no longer have control over Palestine? That's my question.
When did 1949 armistice agreement?
Yeah, but no, but that's the armistice agreement. But when did it end? Because that's something I've been struggling to find evidence of.
When did what end? No, because there was the 6-Day War. That was.
Was the 6-Day War what ended it?
They formally ended the hostilities of the night. Okay, so this is before Black September in the 1970s. In 1948, the Arab-Israeli War, and then it separated Arab-controlled territory, Jordanian annexed West Bank, and
that's when the UN was involved in shit like that.
So the Gaza Strip went from Jordan's control to Egypt's control, from Israel. And then in 1967, the 6-Day War, and then during the 6-Day War, Israel took control of the Gaza Strip back.
Yeah.
From Egypt?
I think it was Egypt.
And then after the 6-Day War, then you had Black September, where Palestinian guerrillas relocated to Jordan and stepped up their attacks against Israel and what had become the Israeli-occupied West Bank from the 6-Day War, because that's when Israel expanded a lot south and took back a lot of that land. And so the PLO, or the Palestinian, what is it?
Was it Liberation Offense or whatever? I can't remember the acronym.
Palestine Liberation Organization. Yes.
Oh!
Nice.
Organization.
Yeah. So they were headquartered in Jordan, and then Israel went to war, fought them at the Battle of Karameh in 1968, which led to a lot of support for the Palestinians. And then in early 1970, leftist groups within the PLO began calling for the overthrow of Jordan's Hashemite monarchy, leading to violent clashes. Hussein, the guy running Jordan, hesitated to oust them from the country, but continued PLO activities in Jordan culminated in the Dawson's Field hijackings of September 6th. So this involved the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, different organization again, seizing 3 civilian passenger flights and forcing their landing in Jordan of Zarqa, where they took foreign nationals as hostages and blew up the planes. It's saying, so this is the last straw, and then ordered the Jordanian army to take action. And then the Jordanian army was fighting the PLO then, and then tried to move them out of the cities Amman and Irbid, And then they began targeting Fedayeen posts that were operating from Palestinian refugee
Hold up. My only question was, when did Egypt and Lebanon no longer have control over the West Bank and Gaza?
In 1967, because of the Israel's 6-day.
All right, and you were talking about how they were having like guerrilla warfare in Lebanon. When did that happen?
Not in Lebanon, in Jordan.
Jordan.
That's what this is. The PLO.
I was confused.
The PLO was operating out of Palestinian refugee camps within Jordan. And then they went to...
There's so much shit that happened.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's literally Hamas 2.0 with Palestinian refugees just getting fucked all the time.
That is not necessarily correct, but...
The Palestinian refugees, they're just trying to escape the war, and then the war comes to them every time. It sucks.
We should stop talking about this right now because I have to stream. We can talk about it more later.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hi, George. I don't know, I'm just reading the Wikipedia article.
I know. Hello, George. We were having like a history discussion before I started, and I was like, damn it, it's like almost 6 p.m. I need to start now. Can you grab my phone?
Yeah, where is your phone?
I actually have my phone. Never mind. Can you grab the portable charger that's plugged into the charging port by your computer?
Yeah.
I have to monitor the Wi-Fi while I stream, because sometimes it just goes out.
Run a charger cord out of the USB on your computer.
Because I need to move my phone around. There's also the charger for my phone that I placed over there. I know, I'm making you walk around.
By my desk?
Yep. It's right there, right in front of you. Right in front of the picture frame.
White block?
No, the cable. Yes. Thank you. Grazie.
Tell me what you're looking for.
Okay. Is George here still? Sorry, George. We were so lost in the conversation, I low-key kind of forgot that I started streaming. George says, it was getting late. Thought you might not stream tonight. I almost didn't stream tonight, honestly. Today has been a day, so I was like, I guess I'm here, Lamau. But if it makes you feel better, I think I might do a dessert, or I might not do a dessert. And if I don't do a dessert, I don't know.
If you don't do a dessert, you could just throw one of the apple pies or apple tarts that we have in the oven. It's super lazy, but it still counts as a dessert.
I feel like I haven't done a dessert in a while. It's because I'm sad.
Yeah, and you're going to be really tired if you do both, and you're going to be grumpy.
I don't even think I'll be that tired and grumpy, yo.
Yeah, you will. You're already tired and grumpy.
I'm tired and sad.
And grumpy.
Not really grumpy, more sad.
Just do one.
The sad overrides the grumpy.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Shut the... You're such a little fucking prick sometimes.
Yeah.
Andrew's being a shit today, guys. Just so y'all know. Just so you guys know. He's just do the dessert. Just do the dessert. I still gotta eat, bro. But I think instead of doing like a fancy meal with the stuff that we have, I'm just gonna do an every plate.
Ooh, you could do one of the fall favorites. Those are fancy. But they're not that gnarly.
I'll make soup again.
No more bean soup.
No, this isn't bean soup.
I think it'd be tasty.
Potato and carrots. I'm also gonna put some of the tomatoes, the celebrities in.
Can you omit them from mine?
No tomatoes in yours? Why?
Because I don't like tomatoes in stew.
What do you mean you don't like tomatoes in stew?
I don't like them.
Were you dropped on your head as a child?
No, I just.
Oh, sorry.
This is like, yeah, no, I'm just sad. Sad overwrites everything. I'm just mopey. I'm not being even slightly antagonistic.
Siri knows it's dinner time.
Siri does know it's dinner time.
Actually,
I
I just
should
put their
make-
food up. So
Should
it's
I make
not-
a cookie?
You could make a cookie.
Will you help me if I make the cookie today?
No.
No cookie?
Nah.
Ah.
My battery is very low today.
But I'm gonna pull the card once.
I might just reject it. I'll be weird.
What?
I'm
Nah,
not
you're gonna
gonna-
look bad if you reject it.
I don't care.
I'm gonna whisper it to you.
Okay.
I would like assistance. I know. That's why I was like,
Bruh.
no, it's the card. It's the card.
What do you need help with?
I just need company. So I don't cry,
You'll
Lamau. You'll try your hardest.
I'm getting a different snack.
Yeah, you should probably get the other one. Should we just do cookies? I'll do Snickerdoodles. That'll make me cry though. I think I'm just gonna cry later anyway.
Bro, just make the apple.
The apple pie, I don't want the apple pie today. Because I want to make a fresh apple pie. And then I'll make the stew and stuff. Because this won't take long.
Girl,
Yeah,
you're gonna be torched.
you think so?
Yes.
I still want to make the cookies. So
You could do 2 cooking streams in a row.
What do you mean, like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? It's just stream.
What do you think, George? Should I still make a cookie dessert thing? What do you think? You look so done with things, and I
I'm
look
so
like
tired.
I'm
I have to sit. I'm in
I
training.
made you espresso.
Yeah, I
Thank
know.
you, George, by the way.
But I've been training for like 8 hours today.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel like I'll feel better if I make the cookies, but I'll feel sadder because I don't really have a lot of people to give them to right now.
Just give them to Jim John's.
I know, but all the people left and we don't go there anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Some of them are still there. They just
Exactly.
don't work as much.
Yeah. Oh, I did promise my work I was gonna bring something sweet. Because she's retiring. Plant places. Yeah, I'll do that. Always up for cookies? Alright, but we're doing cookies then. Cookie. But I'm gonna do easy ones.
You know, I'll stay here for a little bit.
You can just sit down right there, you know.
I know. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it for like 3.5
This
hours.
is not gonna be a 3.5 hour show. Snickerdoodles are so fast. The only reason it'll be that long is if I actually have the ability to like make it through this. Do we have cream of tartar?
No.
Oh man. I could omit that. But then that kind of makes it good.
It's cream or tartar. We have cream.
No, cream of tartar.
It's an AI picture.
No, this is not AI.
But it says cream or tartar.
No, it's
in
cream
the,
of. Are you dyslexic, sir?
That says
Why does it
or.
say cream or tartar? It is literally supposed. That's a typo. It's actually.
Oh, it does say cream of tartar later.
Yeah.
Look, man, I didn't know cream of tartar existed. It sounds fake. And AI is like a thing that kind of sucks at its job. So,
AI can suck
you
my
know,
wiener.
pumpkin.
We don't.
I guess, well, I mean, we have some of the pumpkin spices. I think we might have all of them.
I think it might. Do you think I should do pumpkin?
We don't have pumpkin.
Wait, it says jump to recipe. Bada bing, bada bing.
God bless. How
Oh
is
my God,
it
I
2/3 of the
saw
way down the page?
The man behind the slaughter. It's him. The voice behind the camera. Yeah, the bitch is here. He's my moral support today. It's my mom die-versary. Yay! Yay!
I'm like,
Oh, see, it needs pumpkin first. Do we have pumpkin, though?
no.
I bet I could make it without the pumpkin. Actually, that'd be hard.
It's 6 tablespoons. It's like considerable.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. You could open the spice. I don't think we have pumpkin stuff.
No, we don't. I used all of it. Hummingbird high. You guys doing 2 streams? Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, streams.
What do you mean, Snoop? Andrew doesn't stream.
No.
He hates it. He's like, it's so annoying.
I get all of my interaction I need from work and like a few hours of Discord at night. I'm good. Some days I need less.
Yeah, he's like, why?
Today is one of those days.
Which one is my live,
Oh,
actually?
those jokes a little bit. It's so easy to burn the brioche.
You're talking to another person? What? Or, wait, what do you mean? George, I was talking to George. Oh, Andrew was saying maybe we should have, or not Andrew, George was, no, you were saying maybe we should have 2. Fuck my life.
I was saying you could do 2 cooking streams if
I could.
you can't do both things in one stream.
If I had no sanity.
You don't have
I have so much sanity.
No.
What? Why is that supposed to mean, sir? There's my recipe.
Crazy.
If I'm crazy, you are absolutely banners, sir. Yeah. You choose to be my bestie.
Oh my god, Beth.
Oh my god. I know, I love making him mad. It's funny, chat. Snoop says, Andrew looks like a Sigma California surfer.
Joke's on you, I'm afraid of the ocean.
That's why
I think it's really cool. Like, it's really neat, but I've gone snorkeling a few times, and it was fun.
How?
It's very unnerving.
I'm sorry. Please continue speaking.
No, I'm gonna let you marinate in that for a minute.
Fucking cruel.
That was, what was that?
I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. George says the Andrew just made dinner quick and easy.
Toast.
If he could just eat toast all the time, he would. That's why your mom's.
Yeah, I would love to only eat one food ever.
Literally me eating ramen.
I eat the same thing. The only thing I eat multiple times is sandwiches, and that's just because it's impossible to get.
But he changes
full
the sandwiches out.
Yeah, the sandwiches change every week.
It's so funny.
If I could have a different sandwich every day, I would. The ingredients don't last that long in the fridge.
I love raging this man out.
I ain't even raging. I'm just passionate about my sandwiches.
He is actually. You know, like the "go make me a sandwich" meme.
No, I don't want you to make it. I want the sandwiches. I make the sandwiches for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's my bitch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Chad.
Totally.
Yeah, he's just like, if you call me that one more time. Oh, I moved the chair, so you can just flip the chair around and then you can sit there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh my god, I got yelled at today for not practicing Spanish. I know. The teacher I work with is from Spain. And she was mad at me because I was like, mucho's frío. And then, because I think that's like cold, you know, like frío is cold. And then caliente is like hot or whatever. And sometimes I just randomly say some Spanish shit. But my Spanish is horrible, chat, just so you guys know. And then she got mad at me because she was like, oh, so you do know Spanish. You do care a little bit.
You just suck.
Yeah, because she'll speak to me in Spanish and I refuse to reply to her. Because I'm like, this is an ESL class. I've known her for like around like a year now or whatever, and now she's mad at me. Anyways, I'm preheating the oven. Would you ever surf?
Me?
Yeah, you. Is that something
In the ocean?
Yeah, like in the ocean blue.
Probably not, but I did downhill longboarding for a long time.
That's like the land version of it.
Once I get good insurance, I'll probably pick it up again.
Where are you? Oh, hi, Elf. Is Spanish spoken that much locally? South. The southern city.
Vietnamese is spoke.
No, we're talking Spanish, yo. We're talking Vietnamese?
No, I was saying Vietnamese, I think, is spoken the most of the other languages besides English.
Here?
Well, maybe
Or
not
just in
here.
the world?
Lincoln, definitely.
Yeah, Lincoln does have a lot of
But
Vietnamese.
I don't know about
Yeah. Their food's so fucking good.
the
Ugh.
banh mi place.
Remember the dude from our high school? He lived, that was like part of our friend group. He lived really close to me.
Justin?
No. The dude who dated your ex, you were Eskimo brothers.
Oh, Locke.
Yeah, you shouldn't say people's names on stream, but that's alright. Yeah. Good food. Snoop says Spanish is taking over the US finally. One day it will. Conspiracy. I'm kidding. But yeah. I don't know. I have to say, give high school sweeties lore. I guess Andrew. His ex or whatever they dated in high school. I hope she's okay, honestly. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to talk shit about people. We've already said too many names. And I wouldn't even be talking shit at this point. I'm just like, I hope their lives are good. Oh, you're in Arizona. Oh, yeah, you should learn. You probably should, honestly. High school sweeties don't turn out well. I'll use my parents as an example. That's fair.
Yeah, well.
I know. Well, that's why me and my ex were like fucking crazy. I don't think I was that crazy, but no, now that my brain is fully developed, you know, I don't know. I feel like you gotta be like
Being a part of this conversation makes me want to turn myself inside out.
Okay. I'll stop speaking about it then. Andrew's like, I hate it. Oh, where are you, Heisenberg? Oh my god.
I'm sitting in a chair.
No, he's talking to L, because L is wait, what? Yo quiero tu methamphetamina? I have no idea what that means. L says, I do be bald with a beard. Hey, yo.
I think that means methamphetamines.
I wouldn't be
It'd be really funny if it wasn't, though.
Wait, 1 large egg. I'm using a cold egg. Do I need butter for this?
Yep.
Where does it say butter? Oh, 1 cup. Okay. You want to know what makes me like almost crash out?
Everything.
Okay, sir. I'll be talking to a student and I'll be like, okay, you understand? She'll be like, okay. But then every time, and I've worked with her for a while now, right? But every time she says okay, I don't trust her anymore because like she doesn't understand what okay really means. She just views it to be like, oh yeah, I get it. Like sure. She views it to be sure. So then she'll say okay, and then I'll come back and she'll be like doing some whack shit, and I'm like, girl.
She might think that she understands.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what I
right.
feel like almost every day.
That's fair. Snoop says, ha ha ha. Shush. Anyways, how are you guys doing? I'm talking about random stuff. This is, do I need a real, like, cup of butter?
That is, in fact, a cup of butter.
That is kind of wild, yo. Okay.
It's a baked good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm used to my other recipes that don't use as much butter. Why are you staring at me like that? I don't know.
Everything uses a lot.
Hi Siri, can I sniff the butter? Okay, don't get too close. I have to feed this. You're not hygienic, Siri. What the fuck? Oh my god. Is it sanitary to use this chat? They just all
They're individually.
like a condom.
No.
No? Oh, okay. Snoop says, I'm traveling to Stockholm road trip, taking with me a Kodak camera from 1910. Ooh, cool! Let's hope everything that can go wrong doesn't.
Just
Bro,
make
you
sure
just
that thing
jinxed yourself.
lives in the carrying case till you
Yeah.
need to use it. You're good.
Carefully, yo. Oh, do you have some good film? Man, that'd be so fun. I want it. I want it. I feel like having candy. I tasted my candy. You know that like transition audio from TikTok? So that's what my he's just staring at. He's actually just ignoring me. He's not even acknowledging my existence. He's so over my shit, chat. I hope it goes well though, Snoop. I'm also very honored that I'm like part of your thing. Snoop says define okay. Yeah, George does that sometimes. He's very ominous. That's true. Hi, Stewie. Goodbye, Stewie. Is Sandy? You.
He's just.
You want ice school, baby girl? Ollie, ice school?
Oh boy, I can't wait to step on a cold puddle in 10 minutes. Oh yeah, 3 cold puddles.
Okay, to be fair, he stared right at it as it fell in front of him.
Yeah, because you threw it like 2 feet to his left.
No, I had really good aim. Normally he catches it.
I throw so much stuff to him when I'm making lunch. He gets them all the time. That was a bad throw. One a day, my cheat.
This is my okay.
I know you can put one in the morning.
Okay, maybe I took one to work with me today, okay? I like my water bubbles. I'm sad. Bubble happy. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Like in Nemo, you know the fucking shrimp that's like obsessed with the bubbles? That's me, Andrew. Bubble, bubble. You won't let me drink my aspartame water, but bubble, bubble.
You can do whatever
Bubble,
you
bubble.
want. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But drinking 2 liters of aspartame water every day might not be your greatest idea.
I know.
Now you do bubble water, which is a thing, but it's just.
But I'm not drinking 2 liters
it
of bubble
kind of hurts
water.
my brain that it's like $14 after tax for water.
I would get a soda stream, but they support Israel.
Yeah, also the CO2 canisters are $60 a pop.
Yo, deadass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or no, I think it's 60 for 2. 30 a pop.
How big are the canisters?
60 liters.
What if I like...
You can refill it with dry ice. You have to get food grade dry ice. And if you overpressure it, you will make a small frag grenade. You have to be careful.
That's fair. Technically, the espresso machine is a small grenade, too.
That has a lot. The
Snoop
pump
says
in
let him cook.
that pump in that has a lot less juice than what you could potentially have with dry ice turning to CO2.
That is
It takes
correct.
up a vast,
That is
it's a
correct.
much larger volume.
So here's my thing. The bubble water would be good though.
I know the bubble water.
Bubble
It's just
good.
the bubble water is not super economical
Bubble
when it comes out of a San Pellegrino
Bubble.
case.
Okay. Ironically, the Pellegrino is like cheaper than the other ones.
Which is crazy because it's $14
I like the bubble.
for water
Bubble,
with
bubble.
bubbles.
Bubble. I don't drink soda anymore. Does it count as soda, chat? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. It's only half of stuff.
Wait. Yeah. Daria says, OMG, it's Josie in American cuisine. Yes. Oh, I should update and say what I'm gonna make. We didn't have enough beans. How many bottles for $14? Technically, there are 12 bottles. Is Andrew reading chat?
Yeah, I am. Hi, Darius.
He's my emotional support today.
For a little bit.
Why only a little bit?
Because I already sat and talked and did stuff the entire day, and I'm gonna burn out.
You're gonna be like a light bulb that bends out.
Yes.
Okay. Daria says, can you tell us your version of how Josie became the leader of... I was not the leader.
No, she wasn't the leader of a militia.
Don't say too much. Fine, you can say whatever. It's like...
She was just a part of it, but it was basically just a bunch of idiots and nerds with guns. Which, you know, is
You
half
make
of
it
the
sound
American
so much worse than
population
it is.
anyways.
It was like
Yo,
not even that
I'm
kind of...
giving you a charitable fucking run here. I only told her that it was a little wild when she talked about some of the guns they had, and I was like, I don't know.
I feel like you should stop talking.
I don't know about that,
You should
Chief.
stop talking.
I don't know if you should be a part of that. That
Well,
seems a little
okay.
sus. But
Commander
no,
Josie.
she was not the commander. She was.
I was
You
there.
just had.
I was teaching them how to do, like, basic first fucking aid. That was my role. I was the first aid trainee. Or trainee.
You gotta tell
them, or whatever.
That also.
This was also during the BLM kind of era, like right when COVID was hitting, okay? Okay. So we went to a lot of protests and I was training them to like help people with first aid. So I was teaching them how to apply first aid, how to manage different situations, and that was basically it. Because at that point, I was lifeguarding for like 5-6 years and I was already training people in like first aid for my work. So that's why I was helping out. The shooting aspect of stuff, maybe I shot a couple of really fun guns. Maybe it was cool. Maybe in the middle of the winter, it was like negative fucking 10 degrees, I was practicing. Gloves do not help, and your aim is shitty when it's cold, because it's also a metal thing. But anyways, that's when I stopped. Because we didn't really, BLM kind of dispersed a bit. I was leaving the city for other reasons. Did you have a code name? Yo, what is this? It's not the military, bro. Don't make it too big. Shut the fuck up, Andrew. It was not cringy. It was cringy. So winter commando training, that, oh my god, you make it sound...
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy like that. Okay, chat. It was a mutual aid thing.
You guys are overestimating this group of people.
A lot. And basically, I don't know.
Look,
it's nothing.
It's
nothing.
Nebraska.
Yeah, come on, guys. It's nothing. Especially in this political climate. It's nothing. Anyways. You're gonna get me on a fucking watch list, chat.
Absolutely, Darius.
More cringe than deadly, yeah. Nebraska people live there on purpose. It's cheaper, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Omaha's a really cool city if you like, especially if you don't really care about having close access to nature or like a ton of nightlife.
Yeah.
Omaha's a pretty solid city. You can get a fairly decent quality of life for not probably one of the cheapest quality of life to cost ratios
Right. Yeah.
in the United States if you're cool with really cold winters, really hot and humid summers, and not a lot of like outdoor recreation if you're not doing
No.
like lake things or you really, really like a lot of flat ground. Did they try? No, dude.
My ex fucking hated me.
Yeah.
And Andrew would not join even if invited.
Yeah,
You're okay.
I'm not as fucking stupid.
Baking.
It was like 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 2020, 2019.
Long time ago now.
Yeah, so long ago. I'm just fucking with Andrew a little bit.
Chat.
Yeah. I'm fucking with chat.
This is not Michael, this is Siri.
Snoop says, damn, yeah.
Oh, militia now.
I'm not in a sleeper cell militia.
Chemical weapons unit.
What?
Well,
Bro, shut the fuck up. Andrew's been roasting me because I had a couple stinky farts,
we
okay?
made she
Bro.
made a bean stew and it was really good. But there was a lot of gas
was
in this
so mad
household
at me.
for like 24 hours afterward.
Oh my god.
It was pretty bad.
He hates me, Chad. Okay, 1.5 cups of sugar. Is it on your CV, Battle Medic? Bro! It's literally...
I love
Chill.
the fact that you get baited this easily, by the way.
Is this bait?
You're getting baited so
Fuck. Okay, fine. I'm making Snickerdoodles, chat. Nom nom Snickerdoodles. I did get to see people dressed up in KKK gear, though, and garb. That was weird. I was on the phone with Andrew when I saw that. That was my first time. I saw the unit tattoo on her arm. Okay. Sugar. I will not bite the bait, chat. Daria says, shut the fuck up, Andrew. Daria says, imagine how potent you'd have to be on the front lane if you could ignite your farts and fly around. There was this one dude when I was in Pathfinders who literally would like try to light his farts on fire, and in a lot of his pants there's like a little hole where his asshole was, because he would like try to fart in the fire a lot, and then sometimes there'd be like a plume.
I don't know if this is true or not, but my dad would always tell me a story about his friend who lit his parents' lawn on fire. He lit his fart on fire in the front yard and it burned part of their front yard.
Wait, he did?
Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not.
Oh my god. It seems accurate though. Daria says, what's Pathfinders? My childhood trauma.
It's co-ed scouts, but cringe.
And culty.
We have a wide age range here in chat for only 4 viewers.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, no, that's just how it is. Sometimes I hit all ages, Andrew.
You can tell.
I don't discriminate. I'm not ageist.
That's not how it works. It's called a demographic.
My demographic is everybody because I'm awesome. I'm baiting Andrew then. Eric says no mushrooms. Yeah. Are you afraid of mushrooms? Elle says I'm old. How old are you, Elle? You're not. I don't even think you're that old.
Say something an old person would say.
That's not useful.
No, it is. Well,
Oh, that's true. It's true, Andrew. You are right. How old is old to you? See, that's what I'm at.
how old is old to you? You're saying
Yeah.
that you're old.
That's the question, bro. I would say old would be like 83. Dari says, I don't really have any phobias except sensible ones like city parks at night.
Say old is like that.
You say
Like
old?
if I get to 70, I'll be like, I am an old ass man, yo.
Yeah. My mom died when she was in her 40s. Hi, Chaotic.
What an
Steve says,
intro.
would you say 1453 AD was enjoyable? Oh my god, Snoop. I like it when it's not on me.
I feel old. That's more important. Like I feel old every day. Because I'm
My
only as
back
old as I am.
Isn't that the fall of Constantinople? Or Constantinople?
Constantinople.
Constantinople. Fuck, I'm so dyslexic. I never read that properly. It's like when I read Hermione in Harry Potter.
Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul.
Shit.
Constantinople.
That's the thing.
Yes. It wouldn't work in the song if it didn't have two T's. Needs the syllable.
Now I will never forget.
Nah, yep, that's why.
Never forget it.
Never forget it.
Elle says, I've had a ligament reattachment in my ankle back surgery, so I feel old. I'm 39.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you it would work.
Yeah. That's
He's
true.
not old at all.
Darius says, I know, you're not even old, bro. Darius says, here at Chaotic, would you say it's true a lot of Brazilians were named after U.S. presidents? That's true. We were talking about this yesterday. We were like, Chaotic needs to be here. But I don't think, is Chaotic Brazilian? Or are you Portuguese?
Porch and geese.
Portuguese. Yeah. Chaotic says, I don't know. But I know two people who are called John Kennedy. He's a Brazil bro. Okay, cool. Sorry, Chaotic. All I remember is that you're Brazilian, but do you like Brazilians? That was like a triple entendre.
No.
Okay, sorry. Bad joke. Bad joke. Moving on. Oh, wait. I have to go through all this flour, and then I can use up this flour. They didn't laugh at my joke, Andrew. You know, clapping isn't good for the microphone. 2 1/3 cup.
Please don't.
2 1/3
You
cup.
don't want to hit a microphone. You can clap. It's just a fucking wiggly ball.
Wiggle?
It measures the wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle? It does
measures
measure the
wigs
wiggles.
in the air.
The wigs.
Don't hit it.
Will you wear wigs? Are you wearing a wig? Okay, Dari says, I knew a Chilean that changed his name from Juan David to John David because he thought it would mean he wouldn't wait in line at airports.
It probably worked too. Probably was better on his resi. Well,
Yeah. Man. I didn't know this. Oh, no. Nah, this is a different conversation.
you should do the thing that you're doing.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I was just
We've
thinking.
been paused for like.
Well, no, I was. Oh, I paused for a minute. A minute. Well, sometimes my brain is.
Say it's gonna take 3.5 hours.
It's not going to take me 3.5
We
hours.
normally eat at like 9. There's
I am making a soup, sir.
4. We started at 6 today.
I did start at 6.
So 9 would be.
I am going fast.
Faster.
Guys, he's impatient. It keeps me from being depressed.
I don't know how Chile got all the coast, man. What a slick deal However they did that. There's probably some atrocity or something funny it was.
Yeah, how did they get that? Walt Disney, bruh. I mean, the thing is that Brazilians do have a lot of foreigners in general. If you have Italian, Spanish, American, etc., as long as the name is relatively famous, we may have it. Max Verstappen for no. Like, there's lots of people here named Michael or Jackson because of Michael Jackson. Do you think Michael Jackson, actually no. Oh yeah, Josie didn't believe Cristiano Ronaldo was named for Ronald Reagan. Why are you laughing, Andrew? I still don't believe it. Oh my god, we got bots! We got bots! Bots!
We ban evader.
Ban! Ban!
You evaded. They put you in the gulag every time you get banned, and like you clutch up, they let you back in the platform.
This is why you're not a streamer. PG, bruh.
What do you mean?
I love fucking with him so much. See, how can I never be sad when I can just annoy you? No, Cristiano Ronaldo was named that way because of a Portuguese politician, Cristiano father. Oh, Cristiano's father was a fan of.
I'm gonna have a stroke.
Sorry, says there's a football called something. Credence Player One.
Triple C initials is kind of goated.
I know. It's better than K's, you know.
Every time. You ended up with a K middle and last name. That's impressive enough because there's not a lot of those.
Really?
But if you hit them with the first name that's a K too, that should be considered a hate crime against your child.
Well, then the Kardashians have committed many.
Their middle names?
No, they named like all their children like Kendall, Kylie.
I know, but do they have
What are their names?
middle name start with a K?
Those are the Jenners. They're
That's
not
the
even the
only
Kardashians.
time it would be a problem.
That's true. All the case. What if they? I don't know. That's kind of wild to me. Like if I had a child, I don't know. I would want to name them after a thing, and I don't think I would want to name them like a basic like name. You know, I wouldn't be like Juneberry. I don't know, or like the most common name. But Daria says it's defo for Reagan. Have you seen the child names now, Andrew? They're fucking wild. I shouldn't be able to name a child though because when I was a kid, y'all are gonna learn about me today. I was like, if I have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Myrtle Ann. So I've resigned my rights to name a child. I do get a say, but I probably shouldn't pick it because I don't know. It's weird. Chaotic says something interesting is that Allison is a male name here. Well, I think it's a female name in the US, right? That is correct. Yes.
Mundo.
Would you keep streaming if you became a mom? Probably. I probably wouldn't even say I was like pregnant or anything. You would want to have an 85-year-old child, lol. Well, technically, my name is fucking Josephine. So, like, it would be passing down the tradition. Snoop says, would you keep... Oh, yeah. You probably. Dario says, Allison Becker, yeah, good keeper, plays for the most horrible team ever. Dedication period? What do you mean dedication period? That seemed passive-aggressive. Explain yourself, Snoop.
Oh, it's not. Oh my god. I'm saying you're dedicated to streaming because you would continue doing it if you had a child. How is that passive aggressive?
The period makes it passive aggressive.
No, that's like it's like the pass it on billboards.
What?
Like with Michael J.
Regarding
Fox.
my message above. Oh, yeah.
You're such a zoomer.
I'm a zoomer?
think that a period means it's like
It's
passive
passive, yeah.
You would
But
die if you had to email people.
I teach ESL. I teach people how to do the periods. You know, period, period, oh. It feels passive aggressive.
That's because you're a
If
Zoomer.
people message me with periods, I'm like, they fucking hate me.
That's because you're a Zoomer.
Nah, it's the end. Like, you can have periods in the middle of everything, but if it's at the end, passive aggressive. They hate me.
It's just proper
Confirmed.
sentence construction.
Is this in English class?
No, but they're just boomers. They were raised.
Militia PTSD, bro.
Josie always goes with people that compliment her. Yeah.
No, I don't.
And you do.
What? Okay, name a time.
Don't even try. Don't even fucking try.
It's because people lie. They lie to get on your good side, and then they stab you in the back. Anyways,
Look, Chad agrees with
she
me.
can't rephrase. Oh my god. Daria says, what is wrong with you, Josie? You're not a barbarian. Use full stops correctly. Period. You guys fucking hate me. I'm being attacked on name. This is aggression.
Chat, put periods at the end of every sentence until the
Motherfuckers.
end of stream.
Yay!
You can
Different
hear her.
conversation. Chaotic says, by what I read online, Cristiano is Christ, because Cristiano is a variation of Cristo, Portuguese version of Christ, since his mom thought he was a miracle, because he was born, because the pregnancy was a risk, and Ronaldo was really because of the actor.
You should have put a period at the end of that.
No.
Just add one in chat really quick.
Do you just want to trigger me?
Yeah.
Fuck. Ronald Reagan, period. I was listening to old UN speeches today. Hi, Cold. Cold.
Feed the dogs. They stop.
But I think I was listening to like JFK's like last UN speech, and it was kind of weird. It was like what Trump wanted to be, because he was like, we helped resolve the wars. But he actually, like,
7 wars in my
7 wars. No, I will end all the wars. The hardest one is the one with Russia. I thought it would be the easiest. Anyways, Cold says, I feel like if people use periods when they text, they don't want you to reply back. Exactly. Thank you, Cold. Do a Trump dance. I don't think Trump can dance without shitting himself, Jack.
No, he can, but he just shimmies.
Oh, he does shimmy, yeah. That's fair. Dory says, JFK said he put a man on the moon once. Do you believe the moon landings happened, Josie? Is this what we've devolved into?
You can literally see the flag on the moon with a telescope.
Thank you, Andrew.
With a civilian-grade telescope.
Oh, yeah.
You can build it yourself, and you can look at the flag. It's there! Hello, Siri.
Sorry. Gaddick says, by the way, how are things going in the U.S. with the the shutdown in the government? Yeah, Andrew, how's it going?
The national parks are closed.
That makes me sad.
A lot of them, the outdoor areas are still open, just with limited staffing.
And the last time we had the shutdown, like 6 years ago, it got really dirty. Because people don't like to clean up. Group says, I'd like to inform Pat that silver has risen almost 10% in the month, from 40 to 48 US dollars. Good thing I have
Did you
silver
know
jewelry, yeah.
that's not actually because silver is going up, but because the US dollar has devalued by that?
That's true. The US dollar is actually devalued by 11%. It's almost 12% now. Which is rather interesting because it's technically not within the cycle parameters that would be normal for this sort of thing to happen. People are panicking. Haha. Anyways, there's an ad now.
Dude, we have telescopes that look way into space.
Invest in canned food. You can eat silver. That's very cool. Are you shitting with us right now, Darius? Or Darius? Is this bait? Does he bait a lot? I'll go with a bait.
Like his entire thing.
Bro. Darius says, we don't have one on Earth that we can see the flags on the moon 100%.
That's bait.
It is bait.
That's bait.
It is. Or do you think he like... See, I don't believe that it's bait because sometimes people straight up like they believe things that aren't real because they don't want it to be.
That's still bait.
I get lots of people like that.
That's still bait.
So it's like I don't know if they're slow or if they're baiting me. No offense, Darius.
Doesn't really.
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Anyways, I need 2 1/3 cups of flour. I'm on the 3rd now. I'm adding a little extra flour to it. Dory says, I believe the moon landings happened and I went to Greenwich Observatory and that's what they told me when
No, he's technically right. You can't see them with ones on Earth because they're too small.
What?
You can see them with the satellites that are in orbit, but not from the ones on Earth.
Oh!
He is correct.
Oh, grazie. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, Chaotic says, no, Earth-based telescopes cannot see the U.S. flag on the moon because it's too small and far away to be resolved with current technology. Even the Hubble Space Telescope, the world's largest ground-based telescopes, lack the necessary resolution as the flags are only a few feet wide and the moon is about over 230,000 miles away. That is, I'm not doing the kilometers. That's what Google said to me. That's fair. Daria says, will Andrew retract his argument? You can see the flag with the normal telescope.
Your chat's a little behind. Okay.
Chat always lags a little bit.
Yeah.
Andrew retracts. Andrew, pull-out game strong. Anyways. What else do you want to talk about today, boys? And the people? Humans? What do you want to talk about, humans? Oh yeah, we were talking about the government shutdown. Honestly, I think it's a fucking...
They weren't doing anything anyways.
Yeah, well, I think Trump is trying to use it as an excuse to lay everybody off, but he was low-key gonna do that anyways, so... Was I supposed to add seasoning to the mix, or to not add it to the mix? Mr. Matt says, if it makes you feel better, the USSR planted a flag on the moon using their robots in 1959. Domo arigato. Oh, I forgot the vanilla!
Vanilla.
Damn, I should have added that sooner, because it might not be...
Do we have vanilla?
Yeah, we have... Oh. Well, we have
I don't know if we do.
vanilla.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Are you sure?
It's a disagreement on healthcare policies. As far as I understand, wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong tonight. As far as I understand, it is because the Democrats are looking for a rollback of the change in the OBBB.
I'm gonna use maple syrup.
Where people who technically are not illegal aliens, they are like asylum seekers and refugees in the United States, are no longer eligible for Medicare.
Yes.
And then the Democrats want that to be
Included
undone in exchange for passing the budget, because that's part of the budget. Is the
no. Here's the thing.
Medicare's the fund.
So the Republicans decided to not collaborate with the Democrats on the paperwork of lots of things. So the Democrats came up with their own separate proposal, which sometimes happens. This isn't like a super unique thing. And then the Republicans were like, "Oh, let's have like on French ideas." The French aren't that bad. They're kind of weird, but it's a vibe. Anyways. They are though. Oui. I'll hit you with a baguette. Anyways. Flashbacks. Anyways. So, no, but to my understanding, the Republicans want to just, so in their proposal, supposedly, they stated that they would want there to be like a 10-week or something just agreement where they would just not have it there, and then they would agree to have it on a vote later when it comes to the healthcare thing. And that was supposed to be in the paperwork. But they the Democrats were like, fuck no, we should just have it here now, because why would we postpone it? Like, why don't we just have it now? And then there's also other things in it that the Democrats don't like, and the Republicans also don't like with the Democrat side of thing. And then the Republicans have like pretty much full control over of like the House, the Senate for the most part, the judiciary branch, and the executive branch. So the fact that they can't find a way to make this work is really funny. Daria says, yeah, we hate gingers in the French. Fuck you. Why hate the gingers?
I think it's because of the Irish.
I got rid of my ginge,
I think
you know?
it's the Irish.
I still impart ginge, though.
Irish. Did the government? Yeah, it did. First day of shutdown.
It has shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy it shut down, Andrew?
The full-on ginger. Do y'all seriously not like gingers that much? Is
No.
it because of the Irish?
Always comment on how mental it is here with the full-on gingerphobia. I got
there's-
rid of my
I know
ginger,
there's
though.
mad beef with the Irish and
Yeah,
British.
I toned my hair so it's not ginger. But it's not even that red. It's more like like a reddish brown. In the sunlight, it looks reddish. Do you know it's called red instead of orange because it was before they invented the color orange, or the term for the color orange? That's
What
why
did
they call it red.
oranges then?
Well, they didn't have oranges yet. Because oranges are a tropical fruit. So when they got oranges, they associated the color with the oranges. And that's why oranges are orange. Or, not oranges are orange. That's why the color orange is the same as the fruit oranges. Chaotic says, I hear Scottish people have bigger ginger population than Ireland. Yeah,
That might be true.
that's true. How we got Scottish poems, Andrew.
Apparently, that's not a real thing either.
I
remember?
know.
Yeah.
I just got big grippers.
Big ol' honkers.
That's why I need to get like longer nails. But then I can't shove pills down my cat's throat if I get long nails. Do they have a gag reflex? Anyways,
Bro.
Darian says in Scotland they like to deep fry Mars bars. I would try
they
that.
like to do that in America too.
They also
at the
deep fry
state
butter.
fair. The deep fried butter is a thing that exists.
I haven't tried it yet because I'm afraid I'd like it.
I don't know how maybe they put the butter in like dry ice and they freeze it and then they batter it.
They
and fry
usually
it.
freeze it.
Is the butter melted inside, or is it just a literal stick of butter with a fried coating?
I don't know. I'm just afraid that if I like it, I'll crave it, like funnel cake. And then every time I eat funnel cake, my tummy gets upset. But it tastes good. But it tastes good.
Funnel cake will mess you up. I
But
had a tent mate in Scout who ate like 7 funnel cakes on funnel cake night, and man was vomiting the entire
I can't even
wee
eat like
hours of
half
the
of one
morning.
now.
He ate a lot of funnel cake.
Oh, I'm gonna get funnel cake next week, Andrew.
Gangster.
The Orchard. They have funnel cake there. Funnel cake, funnel cake, funnel cake. I only get it once a year, chat. I'm not saying when we're going. I'm just saying we're doing a thing. There are multiple orchards here in Nebraska, Andrew. They're fucking. I am gonna lose my shit with you, sir. Motherfucker. Oh, I'm almost done with this. Okay. After this, I make soup. What's your favorite, junk food? Chat. Not bad food, because there is no bad food. I mean, there is bad food, like stuff that's, like, poisonous for you, you know? Did you know that tomatoes, like, the actual plant, is, like, related to the nightshade family? So when you have a ton of tomatoes in your garden, if you were to eat the tomato leaves, you're basically ingesting a toned-down version of nightshade, and you can kill people with it. Because it has the same
Is this like
constant.
the same thing as like the amount of potassium in bananas?
No.
Would it
Like,
have
you
to be,
can't
like,
eat tomato.
How
paste.
many tomatoes would it require?
No, I mean, I don't think the tomatoes have it. If they do, it's at a very small rate. But one of my coworkers, she was really allergic to it. So whenever we were planting tomatoes, and we had to transplant them, she'd get rashes. Anyways, Daria says, my mom is ginger and she had a bad time at school apparently. As an adult, when she used to lose her temper, my dad would say, it's because she's ginger. My older sister says the same. I feel sorry for her as it seems like no one really took her seriously if they just blamed it on her hair color. Fair. Bananas are actually radioactive. You are correct, Al. Darius says, my cousin is ginger-haired beauty, yet even my family is prejudiced against gingers. Is this a UK thing? And where does it stem from? My family members even said, well, it's because they're ginger, isn't it?
I think it's the
In
Irish.
her presence. I feel like it could be Scottish. I mean, you got some red.
But it's the Irish. Didn't they have like some history, some violent history?
What, the Irish and
The Irish and the British.
No, I didn't think they had any conflict.
Well, that's what I was asking. Is it because of
Didn't
the
the
Irish?
Scottish have like problems with them too?
Almost everyone had problems with the British at some point in time. in
Yeah, it's
history.
because they tried to overextend everything they had. You know? And then you should sit back down.
Nah, I'm out of here.
You're out of here?
Yeah, you got plenty of people here. Okay, my part.
No, no, I'll try. Yes, I will. I'll try later.
We'll try later, regardless of whether.
I could cry and drink alcohol. Be sad.
Probably a bad idea.
Yeah, if I were to drink right now, I'd just cry way too much. I'm one of those people where, like, if I drink a lot, I just cry. Anyways, George says pizza. Man!
The English people. Aren't they the same thing?
Oh, is Darius still here? Darius.
Is
Check
there
it.
a difference between an English person and a British person? What's the difference between England and Britain?
Some dude got mad at me for saying, when I was giving my lecture, he got mad at me for saying the English Empire instead of the British Empire.
Okay, what's the difference?
Please explain that.
Isn't England just a city in Britain or in the because it's the UK now, right?
No, England is a region.
Oh my God.
Scotland, Wales, yeah, England and Northern Ireland make up Britain.
Britain.
Yeah, see, England's a region.
Oh. Yeah. We all hate each
Yeah, it's because you were forced to, like, breed with one another, you
other.
know?
No, what?
Well, yeah, because otherwise it would be, like, super incestuous, you know? They have, like, so many disabled, like, kings and queens.
Alright, my
With all the
brain's too
incest?
tired for this, yo.
Anyways, Darius says, it's like states in the United States, I guess. England is by far the most powerful, though. Yeah.
I've learned too much today.
You learned too much?
Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't like learning. I'm baiting you, Andrew. Okay, time for balls. Anyways. Ugh.
Oh, no, wait.
I don't know what to say now. Andrew kind of left, and now my brain is just like, boop, boop. It kind of buffered. Anyways, I would have to. Andrew, what's your favorite junk food? Oh, apple fritters.
Anything apple
Anything apple.
flavored for the most
Yeah.
part.
Josie, did you study geography at school? I heard not all schools teach geography outside the U.S. Oh shit, I got off my hands. Andrew,
What?
did our school teach geography?
Yeah, they taught geography, but I didn't pay a ton of attention. It was also a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I mean, I learned about it in middle school. In high school, it was an optional class, and I decided to take GoPo instead. So, yeah. Wait, let's see. Darius says the United Kingdom, I think, was more about when Scotland tried to colonize Panama, and it went wrong and bankrupted them, so they had to unite with England. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. And then America took over the Panama Canal. History. And then Trump was like, we need to take over Panama again. And then the private companies basically did. That's crazy. So that's why my history doesn't really extend super far. Oh wait, I need to season these too. But my history isn't like super good when it comes to like Africa and South America. I'm getting better with it though. More research, I guess. Daria says, oh, okay, so basically I'm really bad with names too, and that doesn't help me. And also being dyslexic, doesn't help either. Daria says, it was going to be called New Caledonia, but they all died from mosquitoes and their stuff, and lost a quarter of Scotland's wealth. Honestly, low-key kind of deserved, but that might be too base. So I'm just gonna...
Base?
Yeah! Sorry. I mean, people are really sensitive about like colonies and colonization nowadays.
Base.
Yeah, I
You
said.
never say base. So it's just like.
No, I say base sometimes. Base boosted. Okay. I have like a cardamom like mix or whatever that I use for that apple. Oh yeah, I made apple fritters 2 weeks. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't know, sometime recent. Daria says it led directly to the British Empire, so you're 100% correct as always, Josie. You're being sarcastic, but I also like to think that I'm correct most of the time. And then when I'm not correct, it's an opportunity for me to become correct. So then, in the end, I am correct. So, this is a joke, guys. I'm joking, by the way. Sometimes you take it seriously, and then I feel kind of bad. You know, I'm actually just going to use this mix. Are you being sarcastic, though, too? Because I'm being kind of sassy. I don't know. I'm bad at gauging things today, okay? I'll be better tomorrow. Oh, man. I've been thinking a lot about the government shutdown today. And, I don't know. Sometimes I just look at things and I'm like, dang, the world is crazy. Chaotic says, we're on the internet. Who's really serious here? Throwback to when I tried to be serious on the internet. And how poorly it went every time. Anyways. What do you guys think about America shutting down? I feel like we're more easily like taken advantage of, you know? It's like we're vulnerable. It's like walking the streets alone at night. How scary. Daria says, I think if you elect a president that has no respect for democratic processes, it's entirely inevitable. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like, technically, a lot of the Republican Party is kind of going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now, you know? Like, they're all sitting on their high horses and they're like, surely nothing horrible can come from this. We'll be protected, we'll be safe. Daria says, oop. Our government just fucks off on holiday during the summer, so we have one every year. That's fair. But, like, our shutdown is more financial, too. So, any non-essential government employees just don't work. Like, at all. And That kind of sucks, you know? Especially if you're, like, just doing like, working at a visitor center or, I don't know, just casual stuff. It's not all casual, but yeah. And apparently a lot of the military has been getting paid and that sort of thing, too. Which, that's kind of interesting. I wonder what's gonna... oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. I wonder what's gonna happen there. Daria says, if the government is shut down, can you get out of paying sales tax and stuff? No. Because you'd have to pay it back once the government, like, reopens. So it's basically, like, a delayed thing. So the government would be allowed to, like, technically, they're supposed to pay people back for any time that they work that they don't get paid. So if you're in the military, technically, or most aspects of our military, you would still be forced to work. If you're civilian, I think they might do, like, withdraw you from some duties, but it really depends on your rank and position. And, like, how essential you are to everybody. But, that's, like, a whole different discussion. That's really dependent on what's going on. Oh, shit, I can't read what you're saying. Oh my. It stopped updating. Whoa, they get back pay as soon as they get back to work, so it's a vacation for them. Kind of. Yeah. But they only really get back pay if they're... Wait, do they get back pay if they're not working? Because I thought they only got back pay, like, for other stuff. What happens when the government shuts down? Never experienced it. Oh, Yeah. Dari says, use the traditional British defense when they reopen. Or finders keepers, bro. Nah, for the most part, things kind of just operate as normal. For most things. There's lots of stuff where it doesn't work out. I don't know all the specifics of it. That's something that I would have to go on to Sir Google and look that up. I should probably use a different search engine, though, at this point. I don't know. I've been thinking about that, too. But yeah. Most non-essential stuff. Yeah, all of them get paid. Yeah. So that's why them saying that they'll have to fire people to, like, make up for the lost costs or whatever, that's kind of ridiculous. Because they're still going to get paid anyways. And, they should be fucking paid. Let's see. Dari says, like, you can't seriously shut down every public program, etc. It sounds like some kind of deadlock rather than a lack of governance. Yes and no. It is very much a deadlock. You are correct there. But it is a lack of governance because that's going to be, like, Congress won't really pass anything until they get that resolution fixed. Or they find some resolution for what's going on financially. So there is a lack of governance, but I mean, they don't pass shit anyways, so it kind of makes me sad, honestly. Chaotic says, how long does a shutdown last? Until they pass the spending bill. That's how long it lasts. And this one might go on for a while, honestly. So what shutdown that would affect you day to day, or is it just your legislation that gets shut down? Well, the biggest part is our like public utilities and infrastructure. So national parks. I think the last major one that we had was about 6 or so years ago. Or it was also like around COVID that national parks got really dirty or whatever. But yeah, long story short, it's a lot of like public infrastructure where people access public stuff that kind of goes to the wayside. And then because tourism isn't like a huge part of our economy, but it's pretty important because you have to plan it out ahead of time, that can cause some problems too. Like you can still get Obamacare stuff done. Oh, like health insurance stuff? That would be considered like anything federal like that would be considered essential. To my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. There's also lots of other things that like low-key shut down, like the postal service is considered essential. Basically, find it funny that you're calling it Obamacare, lol. Well, I don't call it Obamacare, but like, yeah. Mr. Meow says the longer the better. Hey, chill out there, yo. Chill, chill, chill. There's lots of other stuff that goes into it. I will Google it after I finish making my balls, okay? Okay, guys. Because I don't want to give you, like, misinformation. I have lots of stuff on the top of my head, but I'm only going to be able to, like, I only feel comfortable saying the things that I can actually confirm. So in, like, 5 or so minutes, I'll get there, I promise. I want to give you accurate information. But yeah, it's a pretty weird situation. Trump is making my balls. That sounds sus as fuck. I know, it was intended to. I'm not innocent, yo. Dark says, is it bad or normal person, or for a normal person, or does it not affect people day to day unless it goes on for weeks or months? I mean, it still affects people because most people have like plans or certain times when they go out and do things. It affects a lot of federal workers because they don't know when they're getting their next paycheck, because they won't get a paycheck until the government or Congress passes their spending bill, right? And because of that, they're kind of like, oh, when am I gonna get paid? So yes, it affects federal workers a lot, yeah. And that's the biggest way that it does, because you don't know when you're getting your next paycheck. And because the economy is very rough right now here in the States, having that lack of security with pay makes stuff really, really hard. Like, really hard. Which is why having a federal job would be really stressful. Because people are like, oh, government jobs have so much security. Ooh, it can be rough. But yeah, it does affect them a lot. I think some people still technically get paid, but I'm not sure who does. Dari says, so it's basically like a budget for the year, and if they don't sort it out, no one gets paid. There's no safety net of doing like 2 or 3 months ahead of time. Oh no, there is a safety net, but sometimes it just doesn't get passed. So they have a time limit or a set date that they're supposed to pass everything by, and that's usually set by the previous bill. Or there may be some legislation that states that it should be like within a certain time. But yeah. And is this yearly or termly? Well, it really depends. So sometimes it theoretically, to my knowledge, could go longer than a year by year basis. It could be like every 4 years, every 5 years. It's within the agreement that they pass in that bill. So if within the bill they say for this amount of time, this is the spending that we have guaranteed for the government, then they would be kind of capped to that. And then they could always go back and pass a new one before that, but they could be like 4 years from now. So they could even say 10 years from now, we will have to reevaluate stuff. So that's kind of more, I don't know, for lack of better terms, I want to say arbitrary, because they can just make it up as they go. But I don't know. So that's like a eh. So if you control Congress like the Republicans, why can't you just pass it? Because people aren't really happy with it. Or is it the Senate? I don't know. I think there's a lot of like last minute elections that are putting more Democrat seats put into play, but yeah. George says this was just to continue the budget for 7 damn weeks, but there was some legislation in there that would go longer than the 7 weeks. Yeah, because they weren't coming to an agreement. And you can also pass things within that short-term legislation that say that this certain thing goes longer and longer and longer. So the Democrats right now are just like, we're delaying the inevitable, so we might as well just like lock shit down now. Then yeah. It really depends on how, like, yeah. So, like, that's kind of what we were talking about before. So, is the Dems holding it up? Yes and no. Yes, they are, but it's because they don't want to postpone it just like 7 weeks. They're like, oh, we should just come up with an agreement now instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting, because this is going to force our hands to like come together faster than just postponing it over and over again. To my knowledge, that's what they're doing. But there is a there's a couple of like things I'm gonna listen to a bit more tonight about it too. Yeah. So the Dems are technically holding it up, but that's because they're like, let's get it done now. Daria says, all Elon's let me see on Twitter is Dems want to give illegal immigrants mansions or something, which is obviously not going to be the truth. Yeah. It will never last because corporations need their money. Yeah. Well, and the Republicans are in corporate pockets, obviously, so they're not gonna let it extend beyond a certain point. The Democrats are just like, screw you. We're just gonna get this done. I hope they hold strong with it. IMO. They should. Because the Republicans could technically fold, and they'd be forced to fold. This is all for show as always. Yeah, kind of. But Trump is trying to use this as an excuse to get rid of a lot of federal employees and then be able to blame the Democrats for it. So that's basically what this whole thing's for. And that's why the Democrats should not fold. Chatic says, I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry. So, personally, I think that I'm going to continue my statement. I also need to drink some water in a second because, oh my god, I'm losing my voice. Okay. Personally, I think if Trump does start firing people, or the executive branch or whatever loses a lot of like jobs and positions and that sort of thing, they're going to try to blame it on the Democrats for this. But if that happens, the Democrats are definitely not going to concede because they're going to be like, oh my god, you fucking fired a shit ton of people. And Trump even said in his speech yesterday that he was wanting to target a lot of Democrats, which is technically illegal. You shouldn't be targeting people based off of their political ideology in that manner, because it's supposed to be nonpartisan, at least for the most part. That would have to go to the Supreme Court, though, for that to be decided, because we don't have, like, a lot of the U.S. government that I really want to, like, ingrain into your guys' heads is not all written down, like, beat by beat what the laws are. A lot of the laws are decided via bills that get passed through Congress, or stuff that's passed in the Supreme Court, which if it goes to the Supreme Court, it can always change, and bills can always change as well. Comrade Josie, is that a Stanley flask? No, it's a container George got me. It says green steel. Yeah, the Senate Majority Leader Schumer. Oh, let's see. Dari says, is there a kind of centralized leader for the Democrats, or at least a figurehead organizing the resistance? Yeah. Yeah. It would be Schumer. But they're trying to target, like, AOC. And they're just like, oh, AOC is the reason why this is happening. But she's not, obviously. I just think it's so funny how they try to target her all the time. First it was Bernie, and now it's AOC, because Bernie is, like, seem to be more like liberal than AOC because of what's going on in New York. And he's been a part of things for a really long time. He's like legacy at this point. Dari says, yes, I've heard of him. What's the job of the Senate Minority Leader? Basically, they kind of act as the speaker for the minority party. They are part of some negotiations, so he, as well with some other committee members, met with the president, I believe it was Monday, or it could have been last week, but I'm pretty sure it was Monday or Sunday, regarding a lot of what's going on. And they tried to meet with the president and the majority House leader. And yeah. Is an elected representative of them Democratic senators? What do you mean? It's never started up, TBH. Wait, what do you mean? Can you explain? There's also lots of committees that exist within the House and the Senate, too. You have a House minority leader and majority leader, and then you also have a Senate minority majority leader, and that's a whole different thing too. But their roles are different because the roles of the Senate and the House are different, if that makes sense. It's all rather complicated. But it's not as complicated as people make it out to be. Is the Senate minority leader elected from the minority party sitting senators as a representative? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So, yep. So the Senate is the one dealing with the budget, correct? Technically, the House drafts it and the Senate, grippers. Anyways, hi Schmicky. But technically the Senate, no toes. Yeah, I keep my toes out. Yes, Congress already passed it. Yeah, but okay, so here's how bills work for the most part. So the House, so either the Senate or the House can propose a bill, right? Or some drafting of a bill. The House has to accept the bill into a vote, and there's a process for that. I'm not going to dive into that because I would want to be accurate information. And yes, Mickey, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. I know I had the tune wrong, but anyways. So the House would accept it, and they'd be like, okay, we're going to call this to a vote. And then the Senate is the finalized process. So the Senate has to go and they revise it. They'll be like, hey, maybe you should make these changes. And it can go back and forth a little bit, technically a lot, like the revisions or whatever. But there is a weird position where there is a point where technically the president can overwrite it and sign it into bill or office. But I can't remember what that what that exception is. It's very rare. I don't think it's happened at all. I think it's happened maybe once or twice, but it's not super popular. So ignore that. But after the Senate gives it's okay, then the president signs it into action. So the president has to sign all that stuff. For the most part, sometimes there are conditions where you don't really need a lot of the president's input, but those are very rare. And I don't think it's happened a lot, if at all. Daria says, the most perfect expression of democracy where everything is basically gridlocked. Kind of. That's the problem with having, not the problem, but that's kind of what checks and balances do with you. So here in Nebraska, well, okay, context. Most states have a similar process with how their states function. So you have the House, and then you have the Senate of the state, basically. In Nebraska, we have a unicameral system, which means instead of having the House and the Senate, everything is jam-packed into one basic branch. And it's kind of fucking crazy. It's really weird. It's really weird. And some people really like it. I personally, the older I'm getting, I like it less and less. Because on one hand, you can pass things a lot faster because the minute that it passes through the state legislature, then it can be signed into action by the governor, and then you're just GG, you're all good to go. But it makes it harder because if they can't come, there's less checks and balances within the legislative branch, which causes more problems at the state level. So theoretically, you could have a unicameral system at the federal level. And we would kind of know how it would operate because of the 2 states that have unicameral systems. But yeah, it would be a worse gridlock because if they have if they have the power to just like not have any checks and balances, then there's no one that's pressuring them to enact certain things or revise certain bills or whatever. And works well if it's in, this is big. The United States will provide Ukrainian armed forces with intelligence for long-range missile strikes against energy infrastructure inside of Russia, senior officials have told the Wall Street Journal. That is low-key pretty big. Is the United States like directly providing that aid, or are we operating through, what we've been operating before? Like with NATO. Or Europe. That's high-key very big. That's exactly why Elon took down Starlink for them a few years ago. I know it's big. I'm just saying, how would that be implemented? Also, sources. Send me link. Per favor. Okay, my balls are ready to be cooked, babes. Let's go. Honestly, I kind of want to fry them at some point. Be fun. Un momento, per favor. Okay. I'm also eating the raw. It makes me sick. That's fine. Oh, a little crumbly. Okay, let's see. Mm. Mm. An order instructing both Pentagon and intelligence agencies to aid Ukraine with strikes against targets with Russia's territory, and recently signed by President Donald J. Trump, with U.S. officials asking NATO allies to provide similar supports to Kyiv. Boom. In addition, the U.S. is also weighing the delivery of Tomahawk and Barracuda. Sorry, there's a song. Cruise missiles, as well as other American-made ground and air-launched missiles that have ranges of around 500 miles to Ukraine, allowing them to potentially strike targets in Russia that are as deep as Moscow. Battle medics will be vitals. Oh my god. Intelligence and arms, get ready, Josie. You're getting drafted for World War III. I don't think they draft me, yo. I'm gonna be real. Having, like, ADHD would mean that you would not be drafted. Just so you know. And I already have PTSD. I'd be excluded from combat roles. Wait, I need a timer. Mm-hmm. 12 minutes. Probably gonna do 13 or so. Then you're good to go. That's true. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good thing, Lamau, but well, that'll be interesting. I do love an existential crisis every once in a while. Love this for me. We'll see how it goes. I want to see like a public statement by the executive branch. Usually this is something that Trump would boast about, at least a little bit, so I don't know. I don't know. I should probably get rid of this. I've used it twice. Boy. Yeah, no, that's not good. No, I know it's not good. That's why I'm like, existential crisis time. Love it. He's probably threatened Putin in Alaska about this weird fetish for Nobel Peace Prize about this already. Why can't we ever get any anti-war politicians here? Well, that's what fucking Trump ran on. He was like, anti-war, anti-war, anti-war. And now here we are. Exactly. Well, he's a fucking liar anyways. He lies about most of the shit he says. Oh. Well, are you ready, boys? He clearly wanted to get Gaza and Ukraine done and dusted before some American voted support. Honestly, it's not even that. It's probably midterms or whatever, but we'll have to see. Dory says, so I suspect that this is him flexing in response to Russia being mental for the last 2 weeks. He literally, like, at the fucking presser with all of the military officials was like, no, we're just going to keep sending aid to Europe, and then Europe will keep giving it to Ukraine. I just think... I would not want to be in Europe right now, yo. Unless it was Southern Europe. Take me there. Mr. Meow says, do we know how many times Poland has been bombed already? Ugh. I don't think they've been bombed. Or wouldn't that be like a category 5? Like, they would all have to defend him? Right, they announced like a category 4 like a couple weeks ago, 2 or so weeks ago, something like that. They were bombed a while back, people died, but no one even raised a brow. Oh shit. Links, please. I'd like to see that. Yeah, do I really want to make soup? I think Andrew was right. You could make linguine. I feel like the soup would be best. I'm just being... Anyways, Mr. Mouse says there... Oh yeah, I was waiting for... Honestly, the Ukraine war just makes my brain hurt. Because Russia's just gonna keep going. Even if they withdraw, they're still gonna go back eventually. Well, at least until dies. Were there no potatoes in here? Oh yeah, no, no. Okay. Did I get my onion? There's onion. Okay, sorry, we have garlic, carrots, beef, thyme. There we go. And pickle. More political upheaval. Oh no, yo, it stresses me the fuck out. I hate war shit. I was like, I'll probably live in war at some point in time. And here we are. Garlic, potatoes. Okay. Okay, but I'm gonna start with carrots. Actually, onions. I'm not proud to be an American. Do all nukes live in Nebraska or is that Ohio? There's lots of places. Technically, the codes are in Nebraska. the nuclear launch codes. And it wouldn't start with nukes. It would escalate to potentially nukes. But if the nuke thing happened, then everybody's dead. Which, me and my friends were talking about Attack on Titan last night, you know, where he was like, let's get rid of like 80% of the population. And I was like, ah, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Anyways, I make soup. The time to make a bunker was like 20 years ago now. And they're really hard to upkeep. On the plus side, your stream will really take off if everyone's in bunkers for 100 years. Bruh! The internet would not exist as we know it. Just so y'all are aware. And pretty much, people would be raw dogging reality for a while. If everyone starts going to, New Zealand, that's when you know. That's where a lot of the rich people bunkers are. Anyways. I don't know if it will, I don't know if it'll end in nukes, y'all, but I think Putin will probably die. And that'll be what ends it. IMO. I don't know how, but that's kind of what my gut says. Elon Musk said he's going to New Zealand this week. Oh, interesting. He didn't. Oh. George says the US has 14 subs that carry nukes, so they're everywhere shit is happening. Yeah. I mean, I remember when we were doing, like, soft shit to Russia, I think Trump, like, sent some nuclear subs over closer to their ocean space or something like that. It's not super surprising. But also, in other news, I think the flotilla is getting, like, overrun, too. Most of their ships are being boarded, and they're getting kidnapped by PDF. And I also think that this could be part of why they're talking about that, to deter information from that, because, I don't know. Yeah, they got stopped, sadly. It makes me really sad. People don't deserve to starve to death. Mm. Mm. They definitely need a distraction. Where elsewhere is a good one? Mm. I think the United States getting involved in war isn't really the best thing. Primarily because we have Alaska and that literally borders Russia. And Russia could theoretically do a land invasion there. People forget that we border Russia too. And there's still soldiers that wear markings in Russia that include Alaska as part of their territory. We'll have to see. Darius says, you bought Alaska off them, and imagine you hadn't because we'd all have died 50 years ago. No. I know, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Meow. Why would we have died? I don't know. I feel like Dart says because you would have had two superpowers on the same landmass with opposing ideologies and nuclear capabilities. Siri, get down. Siri, get down. Get down. I think that's true to an extent. And I guess the Cold War was pretty much between Russia and America. It says Russia doesn't have Alaska on any markings post 1867. I would look at other stuff too. Dara says the Cuban Missile Crisis was such a big thing because it brought nukes within range of all the U.S. Yeah. Russia doesn't have enough troops to have a ground attack on the U.S. Yeah. Not anymore, it's true. But, oh, did you hear that Trump is sending shit over to Ukraine? Supposedly. You should look it up. Andrew is more involved in this war than I am.
Flip-flops on sending aid to Ukraine on like a bi-weekly basis. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it when I see it actually happen.
No, he didn't. Apparently it's like other people saying it's happening. But yeah, I'm kind of with Andrew here. Like, we need more actual like confirmation on it before we really could like think about it. It does give me like a mild pit in my stomach a lot of the time, but what are you doing, Siri? Okay. But yeah. Wars I doubt are gonna be fought with boots on the ground as much as they were. That's true. We've talked about this before. Drones, finances, so on and so forth. The West kind of fucked up though with Russia. Because we were so passive during their initial invasion. Technically, we were really passive in the 2010s when they took Crimea. Daria says, and to my understanding, the U.S. would wipe the floor with every military in the world, with a possible exception of China. Yeah. Passive, we literally fueled the 7-year war. No. I'm saying that the war was good for money. That's why the war lasted so long. You can say I'm wrong, but I know I'm right here. And let me explain before you guys get your titties in a twist. So, America gains a lot of money, and Trump did weaken NATO, that's true. But America gains a lot of money if there's a war. Our economy is primarily fueled by war stuff. And that's why whenever there's a war going on in some part of the world, we get our shit involved because we either sell shit or we have some excuse to get involved because we have a huge military-industrial complex, right? So when shit happened in Crimea in like 2014 or whatever, the world should have been like, hey, no, we're going to start with like sanctions. We're going to, like, all that shit should have happened. All that shit that they did now should have happened back then because it would have set like more precedent. You know, it would have been like, hey, you can't have any of this stuff. You can't fuck with us in this way. You're going to get in big trouble, blah, 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 blah. Now, oh, the cookies are done. Because the world didn't really do that and they were just kind of like, oh, shame on you, but you can keep the land, blah, blah, blah. Russia was able to strategize because they're like, oh, they're all barking no bite. We can get away with basically whatever we want. And that's why we're in the position we're in right now. Okay. Snickerdoodles are just about ready. That was good timing. Okay, there we go. So, in my opinion, we should have, like, nailed everything down before. Whatever. Let's see. Dara says the response to the Crimean invasion was very similar to the response of the Sudetenland, and Neville Chamberlain before World War II. And Angela Merkel really screwed up with the pipeline. It handed Russia too much power in Europe on a plate. That's true. The fucking power that they have is absolutely insane because of the pipeline. And that's why they didn't really want to do a ton of shit with Russia way back when too, because they get a lot of their resources from Russia. But it basically delayed the inevitable. It was basically a warning, and the countries didn't heed that warning. And that's why we're at the place that we're at right now. It just makes shit get worse and worse with time. So all of this was entirely avoidable. But it was avoidable perhaps 23 years ago. The minute that Putin started abusing power while in office. Daria says, yeah, I put this more on weak European leadership than the US, TBH. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Because the United States was already involved in a lot of other warship stuff, like going on in the Middle East. And Russia was basically the last of their focus on anything. They were like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever happens, happens. So why would they get super involved? And a lot of Europe was also involved in the Middle East too. We're not even going to dive into that because it just makes me mad. Daria says, but I'm still very cross. Nothing happened when Russians were over here poisoning people. Yeah, no, what I'm saying is there was so much shit that was happening. And then how do you even, like, go up against the nation? Because like I said before, this needed to be addressed 23 years ago when the abuse of power actually began in Russia. One could say that it started before then, but that's like when it started becoming really noticeable, where public broadcasting started becoming more regulated and more government oversight started happening and the oligarchy started forming. That's like when people should have been like, hey, we're going to cut you off if you do this, because that's when those policies would have actually made sense. Daria says, no response, and then they took sovereign borders from someone we promised to protect. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It should have happened, as I said before, 23 years ago. 23 years ago. All of this shit, you could not have stopped. It was all inevitable at that point. But people, they don't want to believe that things are going to escalate to that point. And honestly, if you were to go back to that time period and say this was going to happen, nobody would have believed you. Like, having an oligarchy of a nuclear nation is a really fucking bad idea. And people should have taken that as a red flag immediately. Daria says, it's a complete disgrace. As much as NATO was fucked by Trump, it's completely on Europe to have checked this aggression. Yes, and America just follows Europe's lead, at least at that point in time, up until like 2016, even I would say late Obama administration, honestly, even before Trump. America was primarily following the lead of Europe when it came to handling Russia and the countries. They're just like, NATO, you tell us when we do stuff, otherwise we're going to kind of do our own fucking thing. Daria says, so we don't have a situation where the US is about to give arms and intelligence to bomb a nuclear country. Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think Trump is trying to like save face right now because of the stuff that's happening. But realistically speaking, this was a problem that was created long, long ago. Very, very long ago. Whatever. At the time, people like Berlusconi, sorry, and Cameron had a fairly good handle on Putin. I wouldn't say so. I think they thought they did because they didn't know what was happening behind the scenes. It was all pretty much like hearsay. Because if they had a good handle on Putin, Putin wouldn't have tested like so many countries in the ways that he did by like literally poisoning people on their land. Darius says the second weaker leaders replaced them, and Angela Merkel became the de facto head of Europe. Putin moved. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It drives me nuts, yeah. And it still drives me crazy that, like, I'm not gonna dive super deep into it because I get mad. Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to make this 425. Okay. The one that the Theresa May was our PM at the time. Oh, that was after them, Josie. Yeah. Give me times. Give me times so I can be sure. I'm also really tired too. But the second weekend leaders replaced him and Angela Merkel became de facto head of Europe. But I also think that the one that did the funny dancing. Okay. I also think that a lot of the stuff that has been happening, you could have like pre the invasion of Crimea, they could have put like some sanctions in and stuff could have happened. But yeah. Anyways, Caddick says, I'll be leaving stream now. Thanks for the stream. Hope everyone stays safe and well. Bye. Bye. Darius says, this isn't AI. She actually did this. Yo. Wait, hold up. I can't even hear it. She dances on stage at the Tory Party conference. Oh my god. I would show you guys, but click the link and you'll be able to see it. Oh, I've seen this. This is a meme. Yeah, the fucking. Yep. Yep. Oh. My brain hurts. Let's see. Darius says, I mean, they were hit hard by sanctions, but that pipeline and demand to be paid in rubles propped them up to no end. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And I think the argument at the time was so that, oh, hi, Mr. Mouse. But to my understanding, the argument that they had at that time was that they didn't want a lot of oil power and financial power to go to the Middle East because of the ongoing wars that were happening in that region and the inherent, like, Islamophobia and stuff like that. So they're like, Russia's better. That's what I think kind of happened, but you could correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm obviously not from Europe. So, ugh. The pipeline was also a way to keep Russia in check. How so? I've heard people say that, but I don't understand how that would be a factor. Oh fuck, I still need this. Andrew, you're right. This is gonna take me a while. I know, every time we talk about like politics, I'm like here for an extra hour and a half. This is why he was like, just make this stew, Josie. But I owe people cookies. So I have to. I've been guilted into cookies. I'll probably take it to them tomorrow, honestly. Darius says it was built to get the cheap gas into Europe and was mainly driven by Merkel. It certainly was about having a more reliable energy partner than the Middle East as well. Yeah. I think it was more about the Middle East at that time. Mr. Meow says, because of Russian oil, gas, metals, materials, or minerals, sorry, etc., were part of trade deals. The EU was Russia's biggest trader partner, so Russia became extremely dependent on the EU. That's true. That's true. Which was a bad move for both of them. About that time, it probably seemed really appealing in some aspects. Gazprom at the time was very open to trading with us. That's what Darius says. It's like really familiar, but I can't remember what Gazprom is. Sorry, my brain's just like, it's been like that all day. Gazprom is Russian multinational energy corp. Oh, okay. Got it. It's like that name. So familiar. What are these? Mr. Meow says the sanctions against Russia showed exactly how dependent they were, how their economy expanded, after they started repatriating. Repatriating? I don't know if that's how you fucking say that. Their industries out of the EU. True. Daria says it was a very stupid move, but at the time, as Meow says, it was seen as making Russia a bit more dependent on Europe, so they wouldn't fuck with us. But that basically, I understand. I understand why. I just... I think that it was kind of a shoddy deal. I don't know. But I see why. What you're saying does make sense. I just think that in hindsight, it seems like a horrible fucking idea. And at that time, I wasn't educated enough to, know all that stuff. Mr. Meow says a giant corporation I work for... Siri, down. Still has facilities in Russia that they can't legally operate, but still pay taxes on every year. That's crazy. Daria says it was beyond stupid, though, but we can't stress enough how expensive energy is in Europe. That is true. Energy is extremely, extremely expensive there. Because you guys don't have a lot of access to your own gas. And the stuff you do have isn't super great. Which is why the green energy initiatives were so much bigger in Europe than the United States and other parts of the world that had more cheap gas or whatever. Aren't you guys getting free Libyan energy now? I don't think it's free forever. I think it was just a short-term thing, right? Daria says, and I think it was the start of the enormous migrant wave after the fall of Tripoli, so there was a huge pressure to get more energy cheaper. What's Tripoli again? Again, it sounds familiar, but I'm also working with garlic, so there's no way I'm touching my mouse after this. Just so you know. The capital of Libya. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know that much about Libya just yet. It'll fall in my radar eventually. I'll have to learn it, but today is not the day. Maybe today is the day. It's shorthand for Gaddafi getting caught, bro. Europe? I low-key think that Europe is really fucked because they want to work together collaboratively, but they don't have the infrastructure to make collaboration super easy. And the EU was like a step towards it, but they never really got everything done. Mr. Meow says it's just crazy how everything backfired on the EU. Yeah, because you're trying to control something, and it's like using the friend of the friend of my enemy is my friend mentality. It doesn't fix anything. Dari says, we don't get free Libyan energy. Unfortunately, we pay 500% more in household bills than anyone in the EU. Damn. Oh, it's because you're in the UK. Yeah. Dari says, which is why green energy is becoming wildly unfashionable here and driving reforms, climate denial. Wait, can you explain? Because I would expect that it would get more popular. I think that was like the Paris Agreement, you know? That's kind of what motivated a lot of people to get involved. Mr. Meow says, I definitely have the impression that green energy failed in the EU. It did. Darius says, we get super tax on energy to pay for a Green Deal that reduces the world carbon emissions 5% at most. Yeah. I think that there should have been more initiative to provide green energy and use the existing infrastructure you guys have to promote more green energy opportunities. But with how the EU has just been like a clusterfuck, especially since COVID, it's been really hard to pass like anything EU related. Or anywhere, honestly. Barry said, so it's very unpopular here to have these policies when we pay so much and it makes no difference. And now Reform, the Farage Party, are getting a lot of political capital saying it's not needed. Ugh. Like here in the States, we have an advantage, or the advantage of saying that green stuff is bad is so that we can keep a lot of our corporate infrastructure going, and America makes quite a bit of profits on oils. Darius says, and most of our infrastructure is oil-based too, when it comes to energy. Let's see. Darius says, so it's very unpopular to have these policies when we pay so much, and it makes no difference. And now Reform Fair. Oh yeah, you already said that. Wait, there we go. Mr. Meow says, serious question. Can the UK join BRICS? Darius says, so climate change has become a huge thing here with people saying it's a hoax, and we need to follow Trump policies and deregulate fossil fuels. Yeah. That's why at the UN, Trump was trying to address a lot of European nations regarding that. That makes more sense, too. Darius says, we conquered the BRICS. They won't have us back. Everything is backfiring. Well, yeah. How could it not backfire? It's like a lot of what the EU did, or most countries in the region, they were just like, how can we have power and maintain power? And when you're just solely focused on power instead of like actual infrastructure, it kind of fucks you over. So even if countries have theoretically like left-leaning infrastructure or more like democratic like stuff than America or other countries, it doesn't fucking matter unless you actually have a way to implement it or a way to make things happen. And they just kind of fuck themselves over like a lot. There's dirt on my potato. Sorry, so it's because Labor made a policy to become carbon neutral by 2030, and it's leading to normal people having to ration feeding as their bills are beyond ridiculous. Yeah. I also think that you guys would have been able to be more okay if you had nuclear energy and stuff, which that is beyond controversial in its own sense. Mr. Meow says, yeah, BRICS is specifically exclusionary of Western colonial nations. Mr. Meow says, is it really that bad though? Do you know I'm gonna feed you in a bit, sir? Your food's away because we have to drug my later. You know that. Sassy boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, these are like perfect. Not even burnt, Chad. Look at that. Look at that shit. Barry says, yes, it's terrible. They've even taken the heating allowance away from pensioners. Oh, we talked about that a couple weeks ago, didn't we? So it actually happened then, huh? I didn't think they were gonna go through with it. Siri, get your booty down. Yeah. I'm gonna put the meatballs on this. Mr. Meow says, I remember a UK streamer complaining about having to ration electricity. I didn't understand it. Yeah. It's also really expensive there, too. Like what Darius was saying. It's 5 times the cost of what you will pay in Germany. Y'all are kind of fucked, low-key. It can get better, but leaving the EU low-key made it worse. So at least Germany is doing well then. Each carriage. Ignore comment because we need nuclear power ASAP here. Yep. But nuclear is super unpopular. And There's even a nuclear crisis that's going on in Ukraine. Well, Daria says not anymore. People are going to use what's happening in Ukraine as an excuse to not have nuclear. Nuclear power is green again. Ollie, settle. Settle, Ollie, I know. I should probably, like, let's see. Mr. Meow says, but serious question, what do people do in the winter? That is a good question. Keep their heating low. Barry says, and labor won't drop in the 2030 target as they think it gives them political capital with other leaders. They die, Mr. Meow. No joke, yeah. It's like in Texas, here in the States, people literally fucking freeze. And they die because our infrastructure isn't built to handle it. Okay, let's see. Yeah. The world is in an interesting spot. Daria says old people freeze to death this winter because of energy prices and the lack of government subsidies they used to have. Mr. Meow says, I swear, sometimes when I read about Europe, the EU and the UK sound so Orwellian at times. Not wrong. Did I put all of this? Okay, I did. I'm also gonna add some seasoning. Daria says, I thought you were from Germany, Mr. Meowers, or am I wrong? Was it Germany or was it like Austria, Hungary? Was it Hungary? Hungary! Yeah, meow meow yourself. Put another shrimp on the Barbie. Bruh. Sandy, you're not allowed. You get your special treats later. He's a pork. That's why he gets this. Oh! Mr. Meow says, I'm sorry I'm from the US, but not from here. Wait, where are you from? Were you born in a different country? Okay. Oh, I need to add pepper. Range on baking sheet. Okay, I should have about 10 balls. Gary says, no worries, you're not wrong about the EU and UK being Orwellian then. Yeah. You guys have been in a bad spot for a bit. No offense. Gary says they're trying to get access to our text messages and data again in the EU, and we get arrested for tweets here. Okay. Calls to violence. Okay. Give him context, Darius. Having tweets that JFK Rowling is proud of is probably not something that you should be vibing with. Darius says this is why you're going to see a lot of Trump-style leaders in Europe over the next few years. I do agree with that one. I think there's not enough set parameters on what is or isn't allowed. And because of that, people are going to extrapolate and kind of make things worse, and it can easily be abused. Let's see. Daria says, Keir Starmer's political career was based on arresting someone for a tweet about blowing up an airport that lost his luggage. Yeah. Jokes are low-key, like, illegal. online in some aspects because it can be easily misinterpreted as false violence. Even on Twitch, there's so many fucking streamers who have gotten like banned. Oh my god, like temporary bans or whatever, but you could get like banned, fully banned. Daria says, and now you get visits from the police for offensive tweets, which is very poorly enforced. Siri. No, wrong Siri. No. Daria says, some are horrific, of course, but people are getting cautioned for obviously jokes. Yeah. And I think it's because of the political climate we're in. Has there been an increase in terrorism in the UK/EU? Because here in the States, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's been going down. Especially political terrorism. Siri, I'm not giving you any. Oh my god, my phone keeps going off. It's like, Daria says not in the UK now. Okay. Puppy. Chill. Okay. Do you think it's gonna start happening? Or no? Oh, is everybody here? Just so you know, Mr. Meow, I call my cats Meow Meows. So Bixby, I call Miss Meow Meow, and Siri, I call Mr. Meow Meow. And you being a chatter also is a little trippy because then I can't call my cats their rightful names. Dari says last summer we had riots all over the country. That's true. Dari says not sure about. Sorry, I didn't read that. Not sure about the technical requirements, but we are seeing escalating political-led violence. A lot of countries are facing a lot of upheaval right now. It's very interesting. Interesting. Not good interesting, though. Most of the time when I say interesting, it's good. Yeah, Daria says two-tier cure is a reoccurring refrain here. Ooh. Rough. No, I'm just gonna have a big ball. Yeah, I should have a small. I'm sorry. I'll split the ball so we're equal. That's a little cursed, but I get it. I get why it's a thing. Hey. Girl says, Trippy, I'm calling it a night. I'm getting up early, so have a great week. Good night. I hope you rest well for it. Eating not. I'm good. Buenos noches. How do you say goodnight in Japanese, Andrew? I'll learn that one soon enough. Andrew, what's goodnight in Japanese? His brain is like, boop. He's staring into space.
No, I'm trying to think.
Oh, you'll be gone all week? Okay. Okay, I'll see you on Monday. I'll miss ya. Gary says a lot of people think the government are waging a war on them and letting grooming gangs off, etc., mainly pushed by everyone's favorite South African. Elon Musk. It's interesting how Elon Musk and Trump are like buddy-buddy now. That's kind of weird. They were so opposed and very not super friendly with one another for a really long time, Oh, I'll miss George. I guess I will see you in a while. Do you want half a cookie? 16 minutes. There's an eternal love story. And I do love a good love story. My romance must be amazing. Or cursed as fuck. Let's do 17 minutes. 17:38. It was a pillow. Sorry, every time. I don't know what's wrong with me. Meatballs, a drizzle, an onion. Not onion. Onion, garlic, season with salt and pepper. Let's see. Add tomato paste. I'm gonna add garlic last, just because it will be. I don't want to accidentally fry. I've got to go as well, Josie. Get the Blair clause for getting the Blair clause for reading. Bro. Okay, guten Nacht. Sleep well, Darius. What else are we going to talk about? I still have food to cook, so whatever you want to chat about, Mr. Meows, if you're still here, sir. Or ma'am. Or human. Apologies. From Nebraska. Blame my stupidity on that. I feel like these potatoes are supposed to be, like, big and chunky, but I don't really want to do chunky. I'm going to do, like, smaller potatoes. Like, the skinny boys is a good idea. Okay. My back is kind of sore. I had a really intense workout. I wanted to correct myself from yesterday. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Meow. Redactments are always good. Yeah. I have to pay close attention or I'll accidentally hurt myself. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna drop that heat down because the minute it gets up there and starts sizzling on this, that's when you gotta drop it. Okay. Cast iron lives. Remember how we talked about humans being able to understand the universe? Yes, I do. And you said it was incomprehensible. I also agreed it's to an extent. So this is something I've been thinking about for a long time, but can't put into words well. Well, we got time. No pressure. I'll try to ask clarifying questions as well, so I can be sure that I understand what you're getting at. Alright. This is a lot of potatoes. Potatoes! I can't remember carrots in Arabic though. But you know, most of everything we have learned about the universe has been through mathematics, right? Yes. That's why I think math is really important, but it would drive me nuts, yo. Mathematical concepts are very abstract and non-intuitive. If it was intuitive, we would reach the same conclusions without using math. Agree? Yes and no. And I don't know if you want me to expand on that, so... I mean, big things regarding the universe, not simple maths. My conclusion remains the same. Yes and no. Like, okay, I'll explain. I think that certain people are like everybody processes something differently, right? So what would be intuitive for you may not be intuitive for another person, and vice versa. Okay, give me an example of something complicated that's intuitive. Oh, intuition, pattern recognition. It's something that people subconsciously process, and then they usually come up, you know that saying that's like your first answer tends to be the right answer or whatever, and there's some like theoretical like the easiest answer is usually the best answer or the most accurate answer or whatever, and that's because your consciousness, like your conscious brain and your subconscious operate differently and separately. So if we're on that same page, like you agree with that, then you might understand, like, agree with what I'm saying now. But how do I say this? I think some people have really good pattern recognition, but they don't understand what the pattern recognition is of. So let's say that you are raised in an environment where you have to do very quick calculations of probability, right? That would be like an easy one. And you have to understand the probability of what would happen if you were to go fishing in a boat. And over time, you may not like process it on your own and like visually pay attention to it and be like, oh, if the sky looks like this and their waves are like this, then that means danger is coming or whatever. It's like an intuitive thing that comes with time. So even if you're not in that set scenario before, because of other factors, you start to get that like, ooh, like hairs kind of up on your neck or whatever, and you're like, oh, something's happening. But you don't have the words or the ability to measure why it's happening. So that's intuition. That's intuitive. So you can't necessarily process it because you don't understand what's going on in your subconscious. Yeah, you're referring to our understanding of our immediate environment. We literally evolved to have those intuition. Yes. But if you put yourself in environments where you're experiencing like a lot of mathematics, or you're in a very science-based environment, and you have very good pattern recognition skills, then theoretically speaking, you could understand a lot of very complicated things that are intuitive. A good example would be like really big scientists were constantly around science growing up or whatever, or some aspect of science that kind of forced them into the field. And I'm referring to scientific things like general relativity, quantum mechanics, versus things that you have to extensively calculate. Yeah. That's why you have mathematical theories. And then you have to have proofs for said theories for them to be considered more than just theoretical, you know? Like, Einstein's law of relativity was a theoretical thing until they had a proof for it. But that would be an intuitive thing. So if you were working on math a lot, you were exposed to it a lot, that theory, before you had a proof for it, would just be a theory. And then over time, it becomes a law if you can prove it enough times, like continuously. Same with like Pythagoras and the Pythagorean theorem and like so on and so forth. We rely on math because we can't do it without math. Math is just a tool, like a language, though. It's a way of expressing your intuition, you know, because it's abstract and non-intuitive. But it is intuitive. It's like a language. That's why you have people who are considered to be geniuses in the field. It's inherently intuitive for them. Pythagoras, Einstein, fucking, I don't know, there's plenty of other like amazing mathematicians, but those are like the two biggest ones that everyone knows. Okay, then look at it from the opposite perspective then. Okay. Shoot. Please explain. I also think it might just be you and me now. That'd be kind of fun. What happens when we're humans, when we humans have tried to explain the universe without navigating abstract concepts of math? You're getting more into like theological territory, and I understand why you're getting there, but math is a language. Just like English is, or Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, you know, French, that sort of thing. It's all languages. So the core concept of math is it's a language that's main purpose is to describe your current environment. So instead of like descriptor words like adjectives or verbs or nouns or whatever, you have numbers. It's numerically based. But in and of itself, it's still a language. I don't know, that's why I was good at math, because I viewed it to be a language rather than like a set thing that you have to memorize. Because you just need to learn how the language functions at its base, and then you're good. You're not good at it, but it's like the building blocks, you know? Just like when you're learning a language, you learn a lot of like nouns first, or like descriptor words, and then you learn adjectives, and then you learn verbs, you know? And it may be a different process for everybody, but that's why math is so hard for people to learn. It's just a language, you know? So I think because I view math differently than you, I don't think I'm going to be able to agree in the same way. Exactly. We end up with religion philosophy, which is very intuitive and complements our immediate intuition over thousands of years. Did almost nothing to explain anything about the universe. I disagree. Because of what I just said. So, like, have you heard the saying that language dictates a culture, right? Like, it explains what a culture is going to be and what it will probably be. You keep referring to math as a language. Yes, because it's a language. It's a language that's utilized in the foundation of many things, like programming. Like, math is the foundation of programming. Like, if you go all the way down to binary code, which is just ones and zeros, that's all just math. Okay, give me an example of anything in the universe being explained correctly without math. I literally just described it to you earlier. Like, you'd be able to, like, understanding how something happens. How do I say it? Theoretically speaking, you could have additives to language that would be similar to math. Math in and of itself is a language. So you could have the ability, that's making it too complicated. How do I say this? I gave you the example earlier about intuitive thinking and how people use the limitations of a language in order to explain what they have. So like here's another question. Remember like 1948 or whatever, that book? That's like they talk about revolution and that sort of thing. People will inevitably come to the same conclusion of like concepts, but they may not have the words for said concepts. So then they make new definitions for things. The reason why math is so kind of like otherworldly to a lot of people is because it's viewed as an entirely separate language that someone has to learn. And it's not incorporated into our everyday lives in a way that, like, it's like, I don't know. I think I view mathematics differently than how you do. And that's what makes this conversation difficult. Because, like, I think math would exist, but I think what you're viewing as math is different than what I view math to be. Probability is in of itself math. But people, even without having a scientific theory or whatever, they would perform their own little experiments, but it would be harder to replicate because they didn't establish rules for that replication process. Which technically, that's not really math focused, but that's why math works. There's lots of like rules and regulations that are proven with like theories and stuff like that. Mr. Meow says languages created by humans entirely subjective is whether they want it to be. Math is not subjective, it's math. It is subjective in some aspects. That's when you get into like quantum stuff. And microparticles and stuff like that. Like the more theoretical math becomes, the more subjective it is. Because without a proof for this said like theory or whatever, it's still yes, but also language in and of itself is purely logical. I think that's where I'm like struggling to like match you. Okay, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, tomato paste. I got focus for a second. My balls are done. Okay. Makes me nervous just a little bit. I think we'll be alright. Tomato paste and yeah. 1 second. I'm gonna focus on the recipe or I will mess it up. Oh. This one. But you literally calculate it. Language is subjective. Yes, but also I think it depends. So like the base function of here's a better way of me explaining it. The base functions of language are replicatable throughout every single language that exists. You have like nouns, verbs, adjectives, descriptors. Sometimes you have complicated things like I don't know, like masculine and feminine ways to address people or say certain words or whatever. But every language has the same base structure. But what is different is the patterns in which it's described. So languages are interesting because if you have a language like Arabic is actually formatted a lot differently than like a lot of the Latin languages. And that's for a lot of different reasons. But okay, I need to add something. But like instead of having like a word that's like a set word like dog, cat, and then you add stuff to the end of it like most Latin languages or the beginning of it, you actually change the composition of the word as a whole. So it technically is a mathematical pattern that you just it has different rules and regulations. And each language, depending on the base of it, has different rules and like regulations that you have to abide by in order for it to work. Math is very similar because it has a core foundation that everything branches off of. And if you want to have the language exist, you have to follow those rules. Let's see. I need to add the time. A language has rules we can refer to as logical until someone changes the rules and creates new ones. Math doesn't work like that. That's what you said. And that's what I think I kind of answered that. Linguistics is very fascinating. I love languages, and that's the more involved I get into languages and stuff like that, the more I struggle with languages because, it's very complicated, and my brain overthinks it, and that's why I struggle with like saying lots of words and stuff like that because my brain's like, how do I calculate the sentence? And I mess up my words and like how I say things because I can't recognize the pattern in which it's always supposed to be because it does slightly change, but its core base and how words are formed remains the same. I said that a couple times, but yeah. It's very fun because that's why when you get it, you get it. And people are like, oh, it's like a light bulb, you know? That doesn't make language math. But it does make math a language. And how it operates and functions. I can't believe we're arguing about this. I know. There's probably lots of arguments about this online as well. Quarter count. Oh, yeah. Ooh, let's actually put beef. I have some left over. We'll do a quarter of my... yeah. It is so good. Yes. Okay, I'll add some extra flavor. But yeah, no, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about because I really enjoy math. And I also really enjoy languages. And I really struggled with languages until I started treating it like math. And I was like, oh, it has a core. I've never heard anyone say that language is math before. I think I understand where you're coming from, but you have a contradiction you haven't explained yet. Okay. Restate the contradiction. I'll see if I can explain it. Because I think I've been explaining it, but I've probably been dancing around it. Language is subjective, math is not. Language is not subjective. It's subjective in how you interpret things, but also math is inherently subjective. So, like, when you have numbers and stuff like that, I know you're going to be like, it's not, but it literally is. It literally is. It's like, it's one of those things where, how do I put it? Language changes based on subjective reasons. Math is the same no matter what number system you use. No. Okay. And this is going back to like the beginning of lots of languages, right? So Arabic comes from Aramaic languages, right? Like that's like what Jesus like spoke or whatever. And then Hebrew, I believe, is like a semi-offshoot of that. But long story short, it has the same structure. Latin languages are put in a different category because it has a structure. Even though the words change meaning or whatever, and it's slightly subjective in that sense, the actual structure and composition of how you articulate things is set in a certain strict boundary. So you can have different... So, okay. Wait, what do you mean, no? What number system changes math? Okay. So I view, like, words changing and stuff like that to be just kind of like common passing or whatever. So like, I view it to be the difference between using the Greek alphabet versus the American alphabet versus like, or, Latin alphabet versus the Greek alphabet versus like, I don't know, we could go with like all the different symbols or whatever, Hindu, Vietnamese, anything like that, right? So all of the stuff that like you use as filler can change. You can change stylistically what it is. So more people can interpret it, but the core basis and the core structure of math as a whole itself cannot change. I see you're focusing on how we write math, not the math itself. No, because technically how you interpret the math is going to be different depending on how it is written. And you can see there are some scientific, well, not a ton, but there are a couple scientific studies that say that certain ways of writing math makes it easier for people to understand it. So it's like how you have, so in a sentence, I teach ESL, so this is good for me. In a sentence, you could say, she has that hat. Or you could say, she has that hat. She's wearing that hat. I like her hat. Like, all of that stuff is trying to identify that that person has a hat on, and you can change the way that you refer to that person having that hat, but the core structure of it is still the same. So in mathematics, there can theoretically, depending on the level that you're at, be multiple different ways that you can prove a theory or a law that exists. It sounds weird. So you could have like, let me explain, because that sounds very contradictory, but 2 plus 4 plus 6 is going to have the same answer, regardless if you have like 4 plus 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2 plus 4, you're still going to have the same answer, which is 12. That last ending does not change, regardless of how you compose the equation. The answer will always remain the same, because it has to be equal on both sides. And then you have to do math to make sure that on both sides of the equal sign, it's equal. That's just how it is. I'm not referring to notations in math. Yes, some make it easier, but if you're using Arabic numbers or Roman numerals like equations, we'll have the same results. Yes, but how you comprehend those equations can alter based off of how you do it. So in math, right, if you use a Latin-based like lettering system, like what we use in like English, Spanish, or French, people who speak those languages are going to have an easier time processing and comprehending. Yeah, I accidentally burnt some oil when I was making I know, I'm sorry. But they're going to have an easier time comprehending and processing the actual information within the equation. So it'll be faster than if you were to use like Greek numerals or whatever. But because in math there are set rules and regulations that, at least for the most part, there's like symbols that have different origins or whatever that make people get all tripped up. But usually here in the States, you use like our lettering system, but you can do it differently. And if you try to go out of that norm, it's harder for people to process. And that's kind of like how accents are in math. So you have the same set language of math, but different ways of coming about to it, you know? And then in some, yeah. But the rules are mathematical regardless of notation. Yes, and one could say the same with language. With any language, you have to have like the thing that you're trying to describe, like the end result. So like, let's say you're trying to describe something like, that is beautiful. You could say that in so many different ways, in so many different languages or whatever. And you could even say that like a little bit mathematically, because then you could have probability. You could say more people are likely to be attracted to this character trait, which you can prove mathematically. So math is just a language of description, just like any other language is, but how you go about it is slightly different. Does that make sense? I don't know. This is coming from someone who teaches language stuff, and I've always been very fascinated with languages, and this is why. Because once I understood that about math, I was like, oh, science makes so much more sense. Math makes so much more sense. It's literally just like an alternative form of linguistics. Because you can still describe things, it's just how you go about describing it is different. You are more probability focused. And your opinion can also be stated via math. You can say, within my own personal perception, I view 80% of people with these set traits to be more attractive than these people. And you can measure yourself mathematically, reinforce your opinion, and that could still be mathematically correct, you know? And that would be an example of math being like a more like intuitive thing that's personal, you know? Because you can measure that on your own. And you can either do it with just like mentally keeping tally of it, or you can actually perform the experiment on yourself and do that, which I love to do personally. I do that with myself constantly. People think I'm crazy for it, but I think that's really fun. This goes into what we were discussing yesterday. I perform little experiments like that on myself constantly, like analyzing the data of my output versus my input and how that works with things. I don't know. That's why I view it to be a language, because it's it's another alternative way for you to describe yourself and how you experience the world. Mr. Meow says, I know where you're coming from. You're focused on how math is written and how it helps us navigate it, but the math itself is not subjective, unlike languages. No. But what math is observing is inherently subjective at times. That's what I'm saying. And because of that, it is subjective. I hope. I don't know. You probably think I'm crazy, but like, it all depends. It's a tool. It's how you use it. Any language could be utilized in that fashion. It could be. Your definition of subjective seems to be different than mine. Okay, expand on that. What do you mean by that? Let's see. It's time for the potatoes. I also like these thoughts. And honestly, right now, I'm approaching this from a debate perspective, and defending my perspective. This isn't all like how I see it, but it kind of is. Am I talking loud? I'm really interested in it. That's so interesting. Okay. You have a headache? I'm not that loud.
I can hear you through my music at double the level I can.
But this is really fun.
But you can do it with your inside voice.
I am using my inside.
No, you're not.
But I'm excited. Mr. Meow says subjective, dependent on or taking place in a person's mind rather than the external world. Yeah, she is yelling at me. I'm sorry. I get really into this. This is really fun for me. Can you feed him in the other room? Thank you. Also, would you like cookie? You want full cookie or half cookie?
I thought those were the cookies.
Those are meatballs. Okay. I'll stop yelling. Just let me know if I'm still yelling, though.
All right,
Mr. Meow says objective, existing independent of our external to the mind, actual or real. Here's the thing, though. A lot of the things that we use mathematics to view and stuff like that. Well, I'm gonna pause for a second. This is a good cookie. It's even. No burning. Fluffy inside. So it is good cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's easy.
This is diving into my crazy perspective on the world, dude. Which I don't know if you like it or not, but I personally believe that we as people are products of our environment, like we established before. So within a person's mind and perspective, there is a probability of someone making a certain decision based off of the data that you have available to you. And when you're thinking about interacting with another person, that data can be a little bit difficult to accumulate because you only see certain aspects of a person. But learning psychology, human behavior, animal behavior, and stuff like that can make it easier, right? So theoretically, you yourself are something that's like I view human behavior to be very not subjective. I view it to be very objective. And I think that's our difference here. So the way we write math is subjective. What those written things represent is objective. It's still true regardless of how we agree with language. How we write it is also subjective, but how it represents is also subjective, which we culturally agree on. Not necessarily. Because, like I said before, language itself has an inherent structure. It is not subjective. there's like people, if we don't agree, then there is no language. Yes and no. But there is math. Yes, but math is a language. It is a way that we have all decided to interpret a set thing. Yes and no is a contradiction. Yes. Because it's like it's paradoxical in nature. In the absence of language, we would have other things to fill the void. There's micro expressions and that sort of thing, blah, 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 blah. Physical behavior that you can utilize as a form of like sign language. That's another form of stuff. But there's always going to be a way for people to attempt to communicate with other people. And there's a set like standard in which it has to be applied when you're talking to other people. And there's always going to be a set, like, no matter the language, it has rules. All communication has rules. You have an object, you have a verb, and then you have an adjective. And those are like the main functions of a sentence. And then you have purpose. Are you trying to, who comes up with those rules? Any interaction with any being is going to have it. It doesn't even have to be human interaction. My cats understand language. They literally do. My pets are very, very well trained because they need to understand what action you want them to do, how you want them to do it, and there doesn't always have to be a why. The why is what's subjective. That in and of itself is subjective. But the actions and the way you go about like describing things, that's not very subjective. The why is subjective. But the actual basis of a language is not. It does not have to be taught. Mathematics has to be taught. Or discovered in the same way as that language is. Someone comes up with a new terminology or a new equation, and then it becomes more widespread. If I speak to you in a language you don't understand, will you understand it? If someone looks at math and they weren't taught math, do you think they're going to understand it? Yes. Because people understand how counting works. They understand that there is a foundation in it, but they don't necessarily understand how to be literate in expressing mathematics. That's why people have like the little bead thing as a way of counting and tracking stuff. Mr. Meow says math you can figure out, which is different cultures have done and end up with the same formulas because it's objective. Literally, language is the same thing. Language is the same thing. You have a thing that you are trying to describe. You have a way that that thing is acting, or you are acting towards the thing. And then you have descriptor words. If language is the same, then everyone would speak the same language. No. Language has the same base characteristics regardless of how you alter it. Cosmetically speaking, like how you said with math. But it has the same, it is not subjective. It is not subjective. I just Google, is mathematics a language? And there are plenty of other people who can argue this way better than me. Honestly, I'm giving you how I understand it because I have to educate people on this. I teach people linguistics. I teach people English. I have to learn lots of different languages on the fly as I am teaching so I can understand what people are saying to me. Because I have people who are Sudanese. I have people who are from Eritrea. I have people who are from Asia sometimes. I have people who are from so many different regions and cultures that we don't have common language. But if you understand the basis of language, you can understand what they are saying, even if you don't understand the words that they're saying, because structure and how they act when they say certain things. Because language has a common blueprint. The difficult ones are like Arabic, because the blueprint of that language is slightly different than other languages, but it still has the same idea. Mr. Meow says different words because it's subjective. No, it is not. I mean, the words can be different, but how are they different? It is not subjective because it has a set purpose. Are you describing something? We're going to go in circles. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. I would like for you to look deeper into linguistics and how they are formulaic, just as mathematics is formulaic. Because when you dive into that, they become a lot easier to learn because it's all pattern. I really and this is coming from someone who sucks at languages. My weakest, absolutely weakest thing that I did growing up was languages. And now I'm on track to learning multiple languages. Am I super fluent in all of them? No, but they're a lot easier to pick up on and converse with people who speak with different languages and get them to understand the language that I am speaking because of how it's formulaic. If you understand the formula of how a language is supposed to communicate and that sort of thing, you can explain it better. It is formulaic. It is not subjective. Changing a personal perspective doesn't change it to being objective. It is inherently objective. It's I don't know how else to explain it to you. It's like changing the way in which you absorb something. It's all math. How I perceive languages is through a mathematical. What is subjectivity to you? Personally, I think subjectivity is like semantics. So the set meaning of the words that you're describing. But the construction of a sentence isn't semantic. It isn't. The words itself are semantic. Why is it subjective? Well, because everyone has a different perspective of it. But a language itself, you have to have something that you're describing. You have to have a noun, an adjective, and a verb. You can have all of it be summarized in one saying, like in Arabic. People say, at least depending on the dialect, Gulf and Levantine, yalla means until, or it means let's go there, let's go here, let's do that. It's implied. But the descriptor is we're doing a thing, here's the action, we're achieving this goal, and then all that stuff, like adjective, verb, noun. It's all within one word, But that's your opinion, which is also subjective. No, it is not subjective. It is all compromised within the same thing. It's like having one word instead of multiple words to formulate a sentence, the noun, adjective, and verb, just means that you're having so let's do 2 plus 4 plus 6 again. Noun, adjective, verb, right? Equals 12. That is what it equals. So instead of having 2 plus 4 plus 6, you could just have freaking 6 plus 6, right? You could have 2 plus 10. You could combine it in different ways. You could have 11 plus 1, come up with different ways. It is not subjective. It is not subjective. You have the core things in the discussion. I feel like you're rage baiting me. And then you can have a singular expression that conveys all three things. And that would be 12 equals 12. 12 equals 12. You can write 12 equals 12 in different ways. You can write it in like an East Asian script, like a Hindu script. You can write it in an Arabic script, because technically there's 3 different ways you could write numerals in like the West Asian side of the world. They learn math different ways. So you can write it in different scripts, but the end equation is same the thing. Writing is not the math part, calculating is the math part. Yes, and language is inherently calculative. We're not going to get anywhere with this discussion. But I'm telling you, it is calculative. You have to have like a beginning, middle, or end. Basically. That's like a analogy. But beginning, middle, or end. To compromise a story. Telling words and sentences is like having small little stories and how you discuss things with people. Mathematics is the same way. Each problem and equation that you have the beginning, the middle, and end. The end is if you have an end result that you're trying to equate. So like mx plus b equals c. The ending is c, mx plus b is the beginning, and the process of equating it all to be like condensed down, that is the body of the story, the beginning, middle, or end. Very similar. It has like timelines. It's like you can dive deeper into it in both aspects. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. And I don't know how else to explain it. I understand exactly. No, you don't. Because the way I am perceiving it and the steps that I take to actively perceive the information, you cannot comprehend, otherwise you would come to the same result. You don't understand what I'm saying at all. I feel like you're trying to debate instead of taking my perspective for a second. Ditto. Ditto, ditto. Because okay, I'm going to be honest. I had your same perspective for a long time, which is why I struggled with languages. I thought languages were very abstract. I thought they were very, like, perspective-based. But the minute I understood that there is a foundational structure for how languages worked is when I started becoming better at it and understanding what I need in order to learn more. And then now I'm learning things a lot better. As I'm learning other languages, I'm learning, like, it's like I'm also able to relearn the languages I learned when I was younger. I took 5 years of Spanish. I, like, technically tested out of taking Spanish when I was in college and stuff because I was good at Spanish. But, like, you're mixing up concepts. No, you're not understanding how my brain works. And I'm not going to understand yours. Because from my perspective, I think you're also kind of mixing up concepts. Don't worry about it. I'll be real. No. No. No, thank you. The reason why I am picking up languages in the way that I am and so many different things is because I am bored of math and I'm viewing languages in a similar fashion. In the same way that I have been describing it to you, or a very similar way that I have been describing it to you. I'm happy for you. I'm glad it works for you. Yes. Oh, this is a very big issue that we have in the science field. Ooh. Sure. Wait, how many languages do you speak, Mr. Meow? And I'm not super, like, fluent in a lot of languages, but I do know a lot of little bits of different languages because I literally teach English as a second language. I'm sure there are many other people for whom it works differently because it's subjective. No. They literally teach this in English curriculums. When you learn how to teach English or any language, you have to learn about the foundational structures of language and how it could be applied across many different languages. You speak 3 languages fluently, right? What languages do you speak fluently? It does make a difference because if they're all like romantic or Latin-based languages, like romantic languages, it would be easier to understand. But depending on the language, I could be like, hey, the structure of the language is similar to this. And I'll be able to see how I can explain the concept to you better. Because I could be like, see how these aspects are similar. The sentence structure is similar in these aspects. I've been giving you a very generic breakdown of it. And I've also been describing it in mathematics too, like in a similar way. Where if we dive into this too much, I'm gonna lose my mind. But I'm trying really hard to like help you. But as someone who does teach like languages, literally do it every week, like English, what makes someone excel in learning the language the fastest is someone who can apply their like mathematical skills to language. And write a sentence as a math formula. I literally did. I've been describing that to you. You have a noun, a verb, and an adjective. You have the subject, which is the noun, the adjective, which is like the descriptor, and the action, which is the verb. In every sentence, that is what's happening. The action could be you describing a concept to somebody, which would be what I am doing now. The verb, or that would be like the verb, and then the noun is like the subject of the conversation, which is very like whatever, you can change it. The adjective is the descriptors that you use to describe that thing. So in a mathematical way of speaking, right? Remember when I was like A plus B plus C equals D, right? Now, I literally have been this entire time. I have been. I literally, this feels like rage bait. This feels like. Okay? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. 12 divided by 3 equals 4, right? So numerically speaking, you could assign the value of 4 to each single concept. And then the end result, which would be 12, you could say that is the sentence. That is the sentence that you are saying. That is what you are communicating, right? 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. But in linguistics, you can have shorthand for things. Like, and I was using Yalla as a great example. That's an Arabic term. And depending on where you're at, usually the Gulf regions or the Levantine belt, it usually means let's go, kind of. Like, let's do something, let's do this. And with the action itself, like what you're trying to do, is normally implied by prior statements that you have, right? It's like, let's go, you know, you follow through, you do the thing. The action is like, we're describing what we're doing. We're going to go walk. Basically, we're going to do this. And that is when instead of having 4 plus 4 plus 4, you have 12 equals 12. You condense all of the sentence structure into one term, and it's implied that everybody follows the same rules. That is not a subjective thing. You're still following the rules of the language, if that makes sense. You have the thing you're describing, the action you're describing, as well as what you're trying to do, you know? Like, it's just in one term. It can also mean, like, until and, like, Gulf stuff. And different dialects, it means some other things, too. But that's here or there. That's just an example, right? So you have that formula that you are trying to fill. Now, there's different ways that you can fill that formula, but you have that same end result. It's always going to be 12. So you can have, like, 2 plus 4 plus 6. That still equals 12. And you could have it, instead of saying, describing the noun fully, you can be like, let's go to it. Let's go. You have the action, you have what you are doing, and what you are describing, it. That you could assign to it because you're not using like full structured sentences or full descriptors for it. Let's go, you could assign that as 4 because, or maybe you could assign that as like 6 or whatever, but 4 or 6 doesn't really matter. And then 6 would be like what you're fucking like, what you're trying to achieve, you know? Like, it's just, I know, Andrew. I'm sorry. I've been here for 3+ hours. And I hope I'm like, you're describing it but not calculating it.
Oh, that'd be so funny if it was.
You're just throwing random numbers out. No. No, I'm not. The numbers are calculated based on the amount of like pressure that you're adding to that specific thing. So saying like the park or whatever, right? The park. That you could say it instead of the park. You can condense it down into smaller structures, kind of like how you can have a formula that's like 2 + 4 + 6 = 12, right? But you can condense all that down to 12 = 12. 12 = 12. You can have sentences where the end goal or what's going on relies on context clues. So you could be like, oh my god, I'm so fucking scared of like what was going on yesterday. Like, you remember that? That's when you add a little like question mark. You add like a numerical value of like, hey, I feel like you could easily do this. You could literally ask ChatGPT or like some fucking mathematical thing or language learning model, which is ChatGPT, to convert language into a numerical structure, and then you would have it. You would have it. You will ask ChatGPT, how do you think ChatGPT works? It is literally like a ton of language data that is being compiled into a numerical fashion, and it is trying to give you what is, probability speaking, would be the best end result. That is why it works. I should have just gone with that this whole time. That is like such a better explanation, because we wouldn't be able to have AI or a language learning model that actually is operational if language in and of itself was not a mathematical thing. If it didn't have its roots and its structure in like mathematical basis. Okay. Anyways, I have to surveys. I'm too tired. That would have been such a better explanation. Damn. Let's see if my potatoes are soft yet. Nope. Almost though. I like them pretty soft. So let's see if my carrots are soft. Andrew.
Yes, Josie.
How soft would you like the potatoes? Soft would you like the potatoes?
Not mashed potatoes, but you should be able to pierce them with a fork.
You can technically pierce them now, but do you want them to be like a little bit softer?
I trust you did.
ChatGPT is converting it to numbers based on ASCII values. Yes. Have you coded before? If so, this is what I was describing earlier. How literally everything that we have, like let's say you're working with Python or JSON, which is JavaScript, right? That is where you have a language that technically is their arbitrary conversations. Okay, this is why I'm adding the language stuff in. If you don't have a background in coding, this is probably not going to make a lot of sense to you. But you can, that's why we call coding languages, by the way, because they are literal like languages. And then they get translated to a language that comes before it. And depending on the level of the computing software that you're in, dictates how much you rely on words, like how we speak, versus actual numerical values in data. So like JSON and Python are the languages that I personally have the most experience with. When I was working with APIs, I worked with Python, JSON, and C++. Those were the languages that I worked with, right? More background in languages. This is why I'm like, it's all math. But anyways, these languages are very wordy. It's not like C#, where you have a lot more numerical values that come into play in the, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm over-explaining this. You're not going to get it. But if you can, learning how software works, coding works, and how you can go into like something like Python and have a certain output by just putting words in, because technically computers all run on binary, right? And if you go all the way down to like assembly level code, which is a lot of like ones and zeros, that's like very lower level. Yeah, I know I'm yelling again, aren't I?
Yeah, you're yelling again.
It's so hard to explain. I don't know your background. Computer languages are subjective to people invented them. People invented math. And technically, computer languages are math. It is a machine. It is mechanical. It only has a certain amount of limitations in order. Oh my god. This is rage bait. You are rage baiting me. You are rage baiting me. Conversation shall not continue. Otherwise, I'm just going to sweat more and get more frustrated. Although I do want to say thank you. As I said, it's okay. Well, this is a good distraction from, like, my brain, so thanks. But, as I kept saying, no. It's okay if you think you're right. Everyone's wrong sometimes. And I'm not saying I'm super good at all this stuff. I'm just saying the way I've been able to learn all this stuff is because it's very math focused. How many cookies would you like me to save for you, Andrew?
5 or 6.
5 or 6? Cool. This is rage bait. We've already discussed this, Mr. Meow. Math is inherently observational. Otherwise, quantum physics would be... Nope. 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 This is why I only stream for 2 hours. Quantum physics is entirely based on observation. All natural sciences are. What do you do for a living, Mr. Meow? You're very gung-ho about mathematics, but I don't understand your background enough to be able to explain this to you in a way that you are the most likely to comprehend it. I feel like if I understood your background, I'd be able to get this. You're a scientist. What type of scientist? Many people will call themselves scientists, and a lot of people don't even believe in germ theory, and they call themselves scientists. No offense to you, if you're one of those people. I mean, mild offense. Molecular biology and biochemistry. Cool. So, you work in science, right? Would you say, so what do you do in science? Do you perform experiments? What is your process? I don't know why I'm doing this with you, but I'm curious at this point. We're too deep into the evening. Oh, I don't have shit to do tomorrow. I actually have tomorrow off. We can keep going if you want to. But also, don't dox yourself. So be careful what you say. Be mindful. I don't want you to put yourself in a bad position. I work at R&D. I don't want to get too much into detail, but I've done hands-on lab work and lots of data processing. Would you say that an experiment and how you would perform an experiment with lab work and stuff like that, it has a lot of math like tied to it, where you have to do calculations, where you have to have heat be at a certain point, you have to do certain things within certain time parameters, which is very mathematical in nature? Yes. Okay. Languages are very similar. There's a process in which you are trying to achieve a goal or an end result. And the way you go about achieving that result, if you don't follow a set amount of processes, it can make you sound crazy. Like in English, we describe things like the big yellow car. You're describing the similarities but ignoring the differences. Oh my gosh. Within your experiment, if you alter small, like if you're doing lab work, right? You could theoretically achieve, because actually, let's use kitchen work, because I view doing cooking and stuff like that to be like working in a lab. I have some experience in the lab environment and that sort of thing. Just probably not as much as you, because I didn't get paid for it, but my aunt, doctorate in pharmacology, ran her own lab where she had to make medications on her own, and I helped out in that lab when I was in high school, and I did that when she had cancer. So that's me giving you like the background. There are many different ways that you can achieve the same result. So if you are trying to, let's say, cook a brisket or cook beef, you can have beef be nice, soft, and tender and have a similar flavor profile and texture by cooking it in different ways. You could broil it in the oven. You could put it on a grill and encase it in like tin foil so it has that humidity in it, and put the same seasoning on it so it has similar conditions but different processes. And within those processes, you have different time parameters that you utilize in order to cook it effectively, as well as heat profiles. But you still have the end result of a good brisket that's nice and wet, right? Baking is very similar. So I could add a binding agent like butter, bananas, or even eggs. Those are all binding agents within cooking, and oil as well. Anything that's very like fatty, right? It's the fats that are important. Get down. And when I'm baking, I never follow the actual recipe. If you guys notice, very rarely do I, unless it's a new recipe. But I understand that you need to have a certain amount of percentage of fats when you're making a recipe. But the amount of everything I'm using to formulate the recipe does need to change, because as you know, in science, the actual the state of the matter can be different. You have oil, which is a liquid, butter, which is a a semi-solid, and then you have I don't know, ghee, which is a lot harder, or something like that. I don't know. You could just, there's a spectrum, and depending on how it acts, or bananas, that would be a different state of matter, and how it's made together, right? And because it has different amounts of fluid, you would have to add different things to it. Also, depending on the type of fat you use is going to dictate, no, this is not objective. It's all mathematic here. You're ending with the same result. You have the same result, and it can taste exactly the same, have the same composition for the most part, and you have the almost exact same result. Mathematics is very similar. You have a set way that you can go through an equation, but at the end of the day, 12 is still going to equal 12. You can have 11 plus 1. You can have different ratios. You could do 6 plus 6, 4 plus 4 plus 4, 2 plus 4 plus 6, those aren't objective. Those are different systematic ways of achieving the same end result. And language is very similar. You have the end result that you are trying to achieve. Anyways, I need another bowl. Also, I think my balls might be a little that's okay. The end result in language itself is subjective. In math, it's not. It's formulaic in nature. The fact that it is formulaic means that it is inherently not objective. Because there are improper ways of having a formula, just like in math. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5. 2 plus 2 equals 4. You know? But also, 1 plus 3 equals 4. You know, 4 plus 0 equals 4. If we create it, it's not considered to be a natural concept. So is math. Chemistry, in and of itself, is a natural concept. You replicating it still means that it is a natural concept. It is just something that you enacted. If you're into science, you would you know this. We're in the same wavelength right now. Math, like within the laws of physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There is mathematical value in that. When I am explaining to you the different processes that you can come up with the same action, it will yield an equal and opposing reaction to it. Because when you are cooking, there's a chemical reaction that happens. It objectively changes the state that the matter is in a chemical level that you cannot reverse. Same as fire. Theoretically, you could reverse it, but we don't know how to necessarily do that with our technology or whatever, and that's a whole different thing. That's more into theoretical stuff. That would be more objective because you're theorizing, but the actual act of doing something is like in order for something to happen, you have to enact something in order to eat. Like, it just applies to everything. It applies to everything. And I know I'm doing big brain shit, but it's not insanely complicated. Language is the very same thing. Many different ways you can compile a structure of something in order to get an end result. But the end result is still the same. How you compose it, how you put it together, how the equation that you use, different, end result, same. Anyways, my soup is pretty much ready. And I would like to eat. Because I need a brain fuel. Oh, yeah. Oh, here it is. Sure. I approve of that. Enjoy your food juice. Thank you. I hope you get some. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna add some more. I doubt anyone will be classifying language as a natural science anytime soon, but who knows? You're baiting me, and I respect you for it. I feel like there's too many potato skins.
Hey Josie, do you want to hear what Alien just said?
What do you say?
He said this person in Josie's chat, professional rage baiter.
Ah, that's what I'm saying!
He's taking the bait. I
know. Alien, thank you, Alien, for validating me. Mr. Meow says GG. Should we put ketchup in there? Sometimes I like ketchup with my, like, stew. I don't know. It's because that's how I grew up, you know? Alien, comment in chat, just so Chad knows I'm not crazy. Andrew, odd or even?
He's in a gunfight.
You're in a gunfight? Bruh. Bye, Mr. Meows. Do you want that extra ball, Andrew?
The extra meatball?
Yeah.
Sure. Sacrifice.
Alien says you are correct. Mr. Murr is wrong. Anyways. I guess it's time for me to go. Actually, I gotta try the food, don't I? I already tried the cookies. I put the cookies away, so we're all good there. And then... oh my god. Okay. Oh. I like my soup. I wish I had like cheese. That would be good on this. I feel like feta would actually be really good in this too. I already gave you stuff. Oh right, I have to try the soup. Okay, chat. It's still quite hot.
Oh, it's fine.
But it's good. I think shoes can be kind of boring though. Low-key. I just wish they were hotter sometimes. There you go, now you can see me. Nom nom. That was pretty fun. I haven't had like a good explainer time, and I needed a good distraction today. So I really enjoyed that. Ugh. Now my body's free. My titties are free. I'm kidding, I'm still wearing a bra, but any oozles, it is time for me to go. I rambled a lot. I had quite a bit of fun. I really enjoy having conversations like that. And yeah. I still have to film my TikToks and do shit like that tonight. But I was smart and I did all of my homework yesterday, so anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys all tomorrow, hopefully. You know, whatever. So sleep well, stay safe, stay alive, and wait, shit. Now,